Yeah. Hey, let's get. We should be back now. I don't know what the heck is he watching us like in the Discord?
Oh, in a general. Actually, I don't know if that was with us. I haven't been keeping track
Hey,
on there.
well, welcome
So the
back,
stream,
everyone. I'm so sorry about that, but we are back. Hopefully, you all
I'm just
can.
refresh real quick.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. Oh, yeah.
Thank you for hanging in there with us, everyone.
I don't see anyone. So let me refresh it. Yep. My apologies about that. I don't know how. Like, I do not stream very often. In case it isn't obvious here, I'm not used to doing this, but anyway, yeah. Sorry, yeah. I just had a technical issue real quick, but we are back. So yeah, I do agree with what someone said. It
Oh,
feels like world disjointed. I do agree with that.
yeah. One final point here that I was looking at, really dark week because Overquill's like got like solid bulk, but it's not amazing statistically, and it has no recovery. She takes a lot of chip. Infernape also can't really take hits. Like I think there's something with like strong dark pulses that's just like, or even knockoffs, because Overquill, like, yeah, you have Intimidate, but you don't want to lose your item. So I feel like this is very, very dark weak.
Yeah,
But
I can
the
see
beauty
that.
of Sylvali is you can always patch it up with that. And on the plus side, if you go with dark resisting type, you can't even be knocked off. So not the worst thing, but I do kind of okay, true. There's pain split, but like pain split feels fake to me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I do. I don't. It's like it's very unreliable. I know. Like I just like the team. It is a bit disjointed in some ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it or hate it. I can see it.
Yeah.
It's
Let's
disjointed, but ultimately quite solid.
let's move on to number 6. We have
Number
Jay, who
six.
is the one we really screwed up. I had this team pretty well, despite having my beloved Diax speed, and you had it really high. So I guess as we've
Oh
been doing, why don't you
yeah,
start?
this is the one I wanted to hear your reasoning on the most. I was very curious why I didn't like this one.
Yeah. Hey, why don't you go into what you like about it first?
I It's funny as much as I like it. I don't even have that much to say about it. I just think this is like really solid overall. Like, let me get my one kind of criticism out of the way first. I wish now again you can get out of this with Terra, especially because Terra Ghost is pretty good on the Dunsparce specifically. I wish this had a good Ghost though, because the hazards here I think are so good, and it would be really nice if you had a better way to block those a little bit. But that's like pretty much it. I just think this is good. And then on top of it, like speed tiers, a little bit rough. Going from 180 to 110, not ideal. But other
Yeah.
than that, I think this is just good. You have like a lot of offensive pieces that are so incredibly threatening, but also they have such great utility too. Like you can kind of do it all. Like I think Quaquaval's a great example of that. You can use like that's a good defensive typing, and you can use that for covering like a lot of dangerous types. But also it's Quaquaval, and sometimes you just like set up. Sometimes you just like set up Aqua Steps spike sweeps right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terra hands into Dunsparce. This might be my favorite like Terra set in Thunderclap. I'm a little biased because I've used Terra Hands before. I think it's so good. Like it just this mon just I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were thinking when they made the stats for this thing. It's fucking crazy. You can just live anything, and it does so much damage in response. Like I think this is an insane Terramon because it's one of those things where like if you're not hitting it super effectively, like it's just barely taking damage. Deoxys is very good. I'm an Altaria believer. I know everyone's kind of turned on this thing. I believe in it. I think this is a solid utility slash sweeper. Oh, and then Ogre upon Hearthflame, phenomenal. Like really good hazards. Like great mixed bulk, great offensive pressure. Like I think. Oh, great removal too, which is really nice because obviously Hearthflame
Heartflame needs it
cannot
really
run
badly.
boots.
Yeah.
Like yeah, really, really badly. Yeah, but even then, like I think for a Pokemon that needs removal that badly, like you've got Prankster D. If you just need to like let Klefki die and get off and like get rid of rocks in the process, like you've got the option for that too. Again, I do wish you had a real ghost. I'm not a Dracloak believer. I'm
Dracloak is
sorry.
not a Pokemon. It does not exist.
Dracloak is like the most like coping Pokemon ever. Like everyone is like, oh no, like I'm gonna bring it, and then it just doesn't do anything. But besides that, I think I'm a huge fan. I think this is awesome.
I know. I definitely think I underrated this a bit. In hindsight, let me check my notes real quick. Um, there was like obviously the speed gap was problem for me. Just because like there's a
That's
lot
probably
of
the
things
biggest
that
issue.
just can ignore. That are so fast that like Marshall and Dio, so they can run a lot of bulk in a lot of offense. Also grounds kind of work the team some fan because after all megas, like I keep going like I'll use a different example this time. I keep using Tusk, like a Garchomp. Like this team does not like switching into that at all. I don't know, like I definitely
That's very
I
true.
definitely underrated this team a lot in hindsight. Toxic spikes also kind of are a problem because like a lot of your mons can't run boots and really hate them. So I do kind of wish there was a poison here, but yeah, I definitely probably put this quite a bit higher. It's like it's got a few structural issues, but the team itself is really freaking good. Like the mons themselves are great. And
I think
obviously,
those are.
everyone knows I'm the biggest Dio believer. I love this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think there's a solid Dio team. He has Ur Hazards to support it, so it doesn't have to run the lead role. But it can if he wants to. If he wants his win cons to be like Hearth Flame or Quack. So it's a pretty good team. And as we've been saying all night, like every team in this division is really good. So I don't know. Even though I play it well, I
Yeah,
still
and I
like it
think
a
those
lot.
are. And I think those are extremely fair critiques, to be honest with you. The ground weakness, yeah, I definitely probably should have factored that in a little bit more. You are, I think, against teams with strong grounds, you are going to be kind of strong armed into running grass or flying with hands, which isn't always good, what you're going to want to do. I think if you could fit like a good flying type in here over Dracloak,
That would
wait, we're about to get roasted. Oh, yeah, we tend to have pretty opposite takes, and then it's funny because whenever Endless and I do PRs together,
we
we
kind of
wind up like
convince each other
convincing
for
each
really,
other.
yeah. We just gotta convince each other. It's just
We,
kind of
yeah, we finish every round like, you are right.
yeah, it's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, I know.
Which is it, it is funny though that we have kind of opposite takes because like I think you are definitely like a better drafter than I am.
I will not deny
So,
that. I've
maybe
seen your drafts. I don't love them, but I do think your views on it make a lot of sense on these. But yeah, I've seen some of
I want
your
to go in
drafts
with drafts
recently.
like yeah. I've worked on it over time. It's
You're
like you
better than
said,
this.
where I kind of like start off with a pretty solid draft and then just kind of throw in the end. But
I mean, it's okay. But yeah, I
I've
do
worked on it
just
for this season though. For like the first time ever, I have a 9 mon draft, so I'm working on improving.
yeah. I have not actually looked at. I haven't gotten to that division yet for my PRs. I haven't gotten to my eight leaves, so I'll see how I think about it when we get there.
Won't spoil anything, but Deoxys speed is present.
Goat. On that note, let's move off this Deoxys speed onto number 5, which we have Croc. Which this is my favorite draft in the division, and clearly you really don't like it, so I'll go into why I think this draft is insane.
Yeah,
Um,
you get us started.
yeah, I think this draft's absurd. Like, there's such good breaking to start. Such good breaking. Wellspring, Mawile, Latios, like, nothing wants to come in on any of those at all. Welcome. Wait, Advanced Mavs. Welcome Mavs. I don't. We have not got. We haven't gotten to you yet, but yeah.
We've
We
we've
do.
not gotten to you yet.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. The breaking's really good. There's good Revengers with Latios and Shocks and Weavile. Priest, solid hazard. Shocks one of the best sellers in the game right now, in my opinion. Coolfish is pretty good too. Fine removal to like keep your Wellspring healthier from spikes and rocks since it can't run boots. Good pivots. Type Null is, I think, really underrated. I think Type Null is super good at just being a check to whatever the heck you need. It's not a fighting type. There's solid momentum, like Flip Turn Latios, Volt Switch Shiny Shocks, U-Turn Moltres, which gets in Mawile, gets in Ogerpon to click their big, stupid buttons that kill everything. Terra Hitmontop's kind of weird. I don't love it, but I think it's fine. And Coolfish also fits really. I just think every mon here serves a really good purpose, and everything is really good. Like, I don't know. I love this team. I could see myself drafting it. Looks super fun. It's super compact. I guess I see matchups where like you want to bring 7 or 8 mons, but other than that, I think the team's just really, really good. I don't have much to say. I
I
legitimately
feel
did
like
not
I'm
have any
saying this.
critiques on this one.
I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but this is another one where like I just kind of felt a little underwhelmed and just kind of liked everything else above it. It's very fundamentally solid. Um, I, this is okay. This is a very unprofessional like critique of it. I feel like looking at this team and like my experience using like a lot of these Pokemon, like watching like a ton of replays and stuff like that. This feels like a lot of Pokemon that are like constantly missing Okos, you know what I mean? Which isn't really like a quantifiable thing, like that's kind of
I get what you
anecdotal, but
mean.
like that is a big thing for me. Yeah, I feel like I can't even like put it into words fully. I feel like it's depending on a lot of like I feel like I'm saying this a lot too. It's a lot of like fake bulk because a lot of like knockoff kind of tears the defensive backbone here in half. Um, and then I feel like the offense is really good, but it's missing that like little bit of just like explosive, like kind of win instantly sauce for me
I
that makes up for that.
outside of like
It's a lot of like
Trailblaze
very
Ogerpon,
solid
there's not
team
much of like
players who do a lot.
you know.
Yeah, exactly. And like, Terra Ogrepon is phenomenal. And like the whole team's very good. Like I think like you said, Shox is such a good hazard setter. I'm a huge fan of Latios. Moltres, I think, is very, very underrated. I feel like this team, for me, it's just missing like a like Garchomp backs type poke, like just kind of like give this a free turn and it just like wins. You know what I mean? I feel like no, I feel like my objective critique for this one has been a little rough. But I like it. Like, I pretty much agree with everything you said.
I
I
get
just
what you're
kind of
saying.
liked
This
everything
team is a
above it more.
little. This team is a little lacking in cleaning power. Honestly, I can see that. I think that's what
Yeah,
you're trying to say,
exactly.
basically.
Like that, I agree with what Jay just said. Because again, it's like I feel like this is a team like you're either gonna play pretty much perfectly and things are going to go your way, like you're going to get the roles that you need and you're just going to maintain control of the battle, which I think Croc can do.
Yeah.
Like, let's be clear. Or like you're just going to miss out on kills and lose your important pieces in return and just go down because of that. But I do like it, and I think Croc like certainly can pilot it in the way that you need to. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of my main thing. Nothing really bad about it. Just I think I just kind of liked everything else above it. And there's just a little something about it that feels underwhelming in a way that I almost can't even put into words. But I've done my best.
I get what you're saying. There's like it has good mons, but there are like there's nothing that's like if it gets that free turn, the game is over. Which there are a lot of mons like that. This Janus team is kind of
Yeah.
lacking one of those.
Yes, exactly. It's almost like it's like a lot of really, really good above average team players, but I feel like we're almost like missing the quarterback a little bit. You know what I
I get
mean?
what you mean. Yeah, I do get what you mean
But
there.
we're entering the top four here.
Yep, top quarter. Oh, did people not rejoin the stream? We're down like 12 viewers, we're like 25 or what the heck? Once I only
Yeah, we're at 13. Yeah,
give me a
should we
second.
maybe put in the quick announcement?
I'm gonna put in
Yep,
announcements, yeah.
we're back online.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will say on a personal note, I'm a big fan of this collection of Pokemon. I really like the designs of most of these guys.
They are pretty cool. Hey, let's get on to number 4, which
Number 4.
yep, number 4 we have. Well, actually, it's number 3 because our third places they are swapped, so I just put them as a tie. So for our first tie
Nice,
for top
nice.
3, we have Queen of Roses. I guess I'll go versus
Queen of Roses.
I have the higher placement. God, I love this team. This team look like I really like this team. Wait, what was it? Yeah, I think Terralando Eye is really underrated in that decks because of the whole because of Rock Polish makes it an insane cleaner. And it can still break. It's still breaking roll for
True.
decks, but it's a great cleaner. Round 2 Palafin is kind of wild. I think that one's really strong. And the rest of the team is just
Yep.
like solid mons, like mostly. Cinderace, core of Mega Venusaur is a gross core, even though I don't think your mons are really that good on their own. I think paired those two work really well together. Terra Diancie is a
Yep.
mon I
Agreed.
think is again super underrated. I do think it falls off a bit outside the top 6, but like, Umbreon's pretty solid. Like it does what you need it to do. I do think the defense can be a bit passive on this team, but it's workable. And Palmont, I don't love them on, but I get why it's here. Like I get why it's here. It's not bad. I don't think Revival Blessing's very good, but other than that, like I do think is someone. We have Queens, trademark Tarantula at this point, which I think came to 2 games last season. And we have Ramparts, which got drafted in like 4 divisions for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I really like this team overall. I think all the mons on the top 7 are really good. I didn't really find that many issues I had. I guess like it is a very physical heavy team. As one thing I noticed. Like you're all
Yep.
Lando, Palvin, Cinderace, Palma, real special offense players. Like Venu hits hard, but like his moves don't really have the base power to make them do it. If you know what I mean. And
I see what you mean.
I don't know, like there are a couple type things like ice and rock are both really annoying. Your rock resists a Palmot, so like a boulder kind of comes in and clicks buttons once Corvus weakened. Yeah, this is too many terrible.
Yeah, you basically don't have
Terra's into
a
type
rock
of resist
resist.
Jet Punch because if you're running non-Terra Boulder, it's terrible.
The stream title does say 11.
What? Oh,
Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out.
1 second. Also, still says day 1, day 2.
I think
You all did not see anything.
For me-
You all did not see anything.
for me, this draft, maybe more than any other, shows off like how good I thought Thunderclap was. Because like this is only 7. I'm kind of shocked this is only 7 for me. I love this draft. I love Palafin. Endless and I we have experienced with Palafin together. It's a beautiful Pokemon.
It was
And I think for me, the best Palafin draft are the ones that have blanket walls behind them to switch out to that can immediately start generating momentum. I don't think this is like perfect at that, but I think it is, if nothing else. Venusaur can, with like Leech, knockoff, Sludge Bomb poisons, can immediately start doing things, and like Corviknight and Umbreon are passive, but like if nothing else, they can pivot out at least, which I think is like better than nothing. Terra Diancie, okay. In my world, if I were in charge of everything, Terra Diancie with Terra, that's like a 25-point mon right there.
Okay,
I hate this thing passionately. It's it's fucking stupid. So I think that's a great pick right there. And even outside of like the bullshit like Terra setups, that's like this is just like you just change this thing to a better defensive typing. Like it is just a good spike setter. That's not even getting into account Landorus, which I agree that like insane. I'm gonna be honest. I think everyone sleeps on Rock Polish because like we've all kind of forgotten that it had that at one point. But no, I think this is great. Rock resist, I think, is a pretty big issue. It's lessened like a little bit because you have Jet Punch, but that's not quite enough for me. Like, I think if your rock resist is Palmot, you basically don't have one.
And I think there aren't that many good rock types.
And
like, the only ones I
very
really
true,
would be
Jay.
worried
It is a
about
lot better with Terra.
are like the fact that Nihilego, I'm pretty sure Terra Nihilego and Terra Boulder are both in this division. So those are kind of like the big ones. Like, rock isn't that common of a typing.
Agreed.
The ones that have it are very scary.
Yep, agreed.
Overall, like,
really... I haven't even gone into this yet. I love Cinderace here. I don't. This is a pretty hazard-resistant team, all things considered. But like core change is a good option at least. What I like about it more, having like a good, really strong offensive fire type. That's insane for Lando and Palafin. Neither one gets like absolutely stuffed by defensive grasses, but they definitely would like for them to not be there.
Yeah, for sure. I do think. I really like the synergy on here. The synergy on here is great.
Agreed. Very minor critiques with this one. Like outside of the rock problem. Other than Lando, quite physical, and I do think some of the defensive pieces are like a little bit passive for what the draft is going for. but I don't think that holds it back much. I think this is very good. I'd be afraid of this.
I would not. This does not look fun to fight. I think it would be very, very
No,
strong.
oh my
Yeah. And on to our
it's
other
never
number
fun to
three, who's
fight.
tied. We have Mavs, who I think is in chat. Or was here a minute ago. So yeah, Mavs team. We have I had in seventh, you had in fifth. I mean, why don't
Yes,
you go
sir.
first? Why don't you go first on this one?
I think this is just like solid down to the very base. It's funny with a lot of the drafts that I think are just like very good. I don't even have as much to say about because I think it just kind of speaks for itself. I think everything here kind of works, except like obviously like a better electric than electabuzz, but like for what it is, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think Rillaboom does so much here, which is kind of crazy. I think everyone's kind of adjusted the whole grassy terrain Heatran thing, but still two good Pokemon. It's more about like getting like double lefties or recovery on like
Yeah.
berry sets than anything else. Sneasler is complete. Yeah, please do Magmar versus Electabuzz. I would love to see that.
We
I'm rooting
need that
for
in our
rooting for
lives.
Electabuzz. We do need that in our lives. The power creep immune follow mirrors. Sneasler, that Pokemon is not okay.
Sneasler is very
I don't
broken.
think it needs Unburden.
It doesn't,
Sneasler is
but it
very, very
helps.
broken.
It helps.
Yes,
Well, I mean,
I don't
it
think it
needs it, but I
needs
think it doesn't
Unburden,
need
but it's just
terrain.
like
Is more so what I would say. It doesn't need terrain, but it helps a lot
yeah, okay, oh yeah, because you always have white herb.
in our stuff. Yeah.
But the thing, unfortunately, because of how Dark Claw works, that thing can work from any position. That thing can just
Win from
win
a
from any
position. Yeah, it
position.
can win from a position.
I like the regen core a lot. I think in just a few Pokemon, you get like so much defensive value, and you let none of the momentum go. Chilling, I love like a. Oh, hey Jake.
Hey Jake, thank
Um,
you, thank you, thank you. We
I
appreciate it. Love you, Jake.
slow pivoting into Rillaboom and Sneasler, I think is phenomenal. It's very momentum
Into
heavy, which I
Enam
love.
too.
Oh, and then Terra
Dropping Enam
Enamorous.
into quick Terra Fairy Moonblast is just gross.
That's phenomenal, I think. And then Rhyperior, I think is honestly excellent Terra Captain.
It
Again,
really
like
is.
we've been saying, like anything with the immunities, because you can just kind of because I don't think this team I think it has any like massive weaknesses. But like I think just having like kind of the plug-in Terra Rhyperior for anything, I think I think if anything, I would like this is a very niche complaint. I would like kind of like a stronger stab knockoff if that was
I
possible.
can see
Just
that.
because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of the things that shut down like Sneasler and Enamor specifically kind of be. It's nice to hit them with the strong dark moves, but that's a pretty. I think that's a pretty small
Yeah, I would agree with that.
issue in the grand scheme of things. Like I think this is just like a very like fundamentally like sound team. It's nothing like I feel like we've seen this archetype a lot before, but it's just a good team
Yeah,
within that archetype.
it's really good. I mean, I'm gonna harp on the things I always harp on, which I think Encore and Spikes are mandatory in Gen 9, but goddamn, this team's good.
Yes,
Like, I
yes,
think I do wish I had a bit more hazard pressure, just like to enable Enam to really pick up those one shots, which would be nice.
yep,
Like, God, this seems crazy. You have good speed control, so even though like the lack of Encore is not ideal, like you between like Static Electabuzz, T Wave Slowking, Glide Roam is obviously really good priority. Sneasler, when in trainer, if you like fake out normal gem, it's like a really good offensive speed control. I really like this team. I really like this team.
same,
I think
agreed.
everything it does really well. I don't see many flaws. I think every monster has a purpose, and it's just great. I mean, I'm obviously a huge Sneasler believer, so that's probably biased me a bit. But yeah, I really like this one.
Yep, agreed. I do wish the hazard control was a little bit better, just because like if you're healing your opponent,
That's a bit rough.
you
Yeah.
know, you want to keep everything chipped as possible. But I think in the grand scheme of things, that's a pretty workable issue with just good fundamental play.
Yeah, and I'm sure he can do that. From what I've seen of Mavs, he knows what he's doing. So
Yep, agreed.
Okay, let's move on to number 2. We have
Number
Cobra
2.
Chaos, where we both had him kind of like towards top middle, but
Yeah, leaning top.
it's a really, really solid team. Top 7 are all obviously amazing Pokemon. I love Crocolore, my baby Crocolore. I do think like some of the mons are kind of not great at the bottom. I don't think Morgrem is ever gonna come. I don't think Lickitun's ever gonna come. They are copium ghost checks at best. Crocolore, like
Yeah.
without Terra, I don't think it's very good. With Terra, I really like this guy. But without Terra, I don't think it's great. But like outside this bottom 3, like God, the rest of the team is really good. I think all the mons here are really strong. I know. I keep saying the same shit, but like these are really, really good team. Like just a bunch of good mons, good removal, good hazards, good offense, solid defense. With Sinister, Gliscor, Jirachi is a really annoying quarter break. It was like very solid. I guess my first critique was kind of a lack of breaking power outside DNC. I guess Raging Bolt if you give it like a boosting item, like Booster Energy or Specs or whatever. But I think Jero is pretty good. Like I don't really see that many balls. Steals are a little annoying. Steals are actually really annoying to break because Gliscor just doesn't really hit that hard.
Yes.
And also Darks are really hard to switch into in general, as are Ghosts. But I think it's workable. I think the team is just like really good. I think every mon does like the top 7 are just really compact. I really like this one. Good job. Good job on this one, I think.
I agree completely. So a couple things here. I think specifically this team is gonna. This is a team you want Encore against. I think the teams that didn't draft Encore, like this is one they might struggle against
Raging
a little bit.
Bolt and Sinister,
It's kind of
sure.
yeah. Even Gliscor to an extent.
Yeah, true.
It's kind of a 7-mon team, but I think the three low tiers at least, like you're like they're probably not going to come very often, but your opponent does have to think about it at least, right? Because like
Crocolore, they have to respect the screens. I don't think you have to respect Lickitung. Lickitung not doing shit, but
yeah, Lickitung, whatever. But I think like Crocolore can wind up walling you if you don't think about it. Screens can wind up annoying you if you don't think about them at all. I think the Terras here are immaculate. Sinistcha, such a good Pokemon. Like I'm glad that thing is kind of catching on now. That it's absurdly good. And then Terra Bolt is terrible. I think Terra Bolt is one of like the most can win from any position like Pokemon ever made. I feel like I've been saying this about a few because I really like I've been saying this all time. I really like the Thunderclap draft, but I do think like across the board, a lot of them are kind of missing like wall breakers, and I kind of think this is one that fits into those. Like you said, it is kind of like missing that just absurd like immediate power. You kind of get that from Bolt, but Bolt is a weird top tier where like it's very very good, but a lot of its best sets like you kind of have one shot to pull it off at max potential, so it's not really you don't want to like have to bring Bolt in all the time just to be like breaking through walls. But honestly, it's a pretty small concession in the grand scheme of things. I think like great offense beating power, really, really good hazards and hazard control. I think like I think this is good, just good. I'd be like very stressed trying to fight against this.
Like the top, just like there's just the top 5 for so much prep. It's not even funny.
I agree. I just like, and I feel like a problem a lot of Mega Diancie teams wind up having is a lack of good rockers. But like, Gliscor is good with it a lot of the time, and you can really like throw. I mean, it has other sets obviously, but like, you can kind of throw Rock Jirachi on like pretty much any team, especially this team. I think like Wish Rachi with Raging Bolt is outstanding. To be honest.
Raging Bolt loves Wish support.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a really good team.
Like fighting this just seems stressful, honestly.
Like, really good. Which just leaves us with one team. Our first place, obviously
first place.
Can only be one person. It is Hades. Oh, am I echoing again?
I don't hear echoing.
All right. Well, is you got first base. I don't know. I do
Hades,
think
I'll say off rip. This is probably one of my favorite teams like I've ever seen.
I really really like this team. Terra Rapid is really good. I really like this one. I
Yep.
think it's super underrated. I think Scissor Screamtail is a gross core. Blood Moon's really good. I mean, I don't know. I just like all the mons like outside Shandor. Shandor sucks. Shandor's
Yeah.
terrible. Don't draft Shandor, people. But the only like real rocker is Screamtail, but who cares? Because Screamtail is what he does every game. And it's so freaking good at it. Um, you have like decent removal if you really want to make Shandor do stuff. You have good offense. You have good speed. Like I guess there's no really like super fast mons like trying to Oko things to revenge them. But like I know I don't think that's that much of a problem. Noivern can still like Draco to revenge wild things, which is good. Yes, JT's is Shandor Sander because simply because Nashoba is a mod and I want to make him mad.
Well, see, like I'll be honest though. At first I was thinking the same thing. Where like it's kind of missing that like fast Pokemon that's just threatening like good consistent damage. But honestly, I think with the decision to Terra Noivern, I think you kind of get around that because Terra Rapid Strike very very good obviously, but like it's not the most Terra dependent thing in the world. Like I think in a lot of games you can just slap on like Terra Normal or like whatever type fits the
Or even
matchup
Drake
and
Dragon.
just
Yeah,
throw out buttons with Noivern.
yeah
I think, like you, I think the lack of hazards is definitely the biggest thing here. Screamtail is a good rocker, but there are weeks where you would rather not run rocks. Quillfish is good, obviously, but
it's not
it's Quillfish. It's
amazing.
not like the greatest thing ever. I honestly think Bombardier is underrated, but it
It's
does just kind
usable.
of lack the big numbers to come to a ton of games. But honestly, I think the pivoting here is so good that it kind of doesn't matter as much. Like you've got the Pokemon for doing damage with U-turn and Mega Scissor. You've
And
got
then
a
you
lot
have
of other U-turn. Like
and then you have breakers. Shifu clicks Surging Strikes, things die. Blood Moon clicks Blood
yeah,
Moon, things die. Shinor clicks anything, things die. Like this team really is good at getting its breakers. And you have like good cleaners too. Like Urshifu with your Scarf is a really good cleaner. Noivern in the late
yep,
game can clean pretty
absolutely
well, especially with Terra. Like I just think the team flows really well. I think it's very functional. I know there's not too much to say about this one.
agreed.
Even though I don't think Shandor is a real Pokemon, it's a real Pokemon on this team.
Yeah, I fully agree there. I think like I don't think there's any like unusable Pokemon on this team. Like Bombardier is the closest thing, but I think like there are matches where that the type combo combined with the utility of rocks, like and the priority, it functions fine. Belly Bolt, I think Belly Bolt is outstanding to be honest.
I love Bellavolt. I
Using it
think
and
it's so good
fighting
this gen. I mean, well, it gives it
Belly
this
Bolt
gen. You
is
don't.
so annoying. No, I get you. I get you. It's a modern Pokemon that gets toxic.
Yeah,
That's
isn't
outstanding.
it
Like I
poison?
don't know,
Yeah.
like I I think for me the team is like very very good. Um, imagine if Terra Blood was legal. Just imagine.
Oh,
Um,
please no. We are never
I think for
doing that
me,
again. I don't think we ever did
no,
once. We are
nope,
never doing
nope,
it.
nope, 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 nope. Um, I think it's like a really good team, but honestly, kind of the crown jewel here for me is Terra Neuver, and I think that like that kind of fixes like the only like big issue I would have with it. All I really have besides that is just the hazard problem, and I think on this draft that's workable. Even like Serena feels good here. I'm not really a Serena believer, but I think it works here.
Yeah, I know. I think this team is really good. Like, it's not like the most mind blowing team. You see, it was like, oh my god, what is this? But like when you really get down and dig into it, it's just really good, and everything functions really well together. There's amazing synergy here.
Yep, fully
It's
agreed.
just a great team, very well
It just
constructed.
I feel like this team just like there's with good play, there's just like nothing this team can't
I
answer. You
agree.
know what I mean?
Not only is it something it can't answer, but it can put the opponent in unanswerable positions very easily.
Yep, fully agreed.
Like, if Hades can pilot
Very
this well,
good.
he will have an amazing season. Like, there's definitely a skill check team, I think. But, like, if he can
Yeah,
pilot it
agreed.
well, this team will do insanely well. It's not an easy team to use.
I
I'll
also,
fully admit, looking at this team, is not an easy team to use.
oh, definitely not. Yeah, you're kind of other than like the thing with this team is like other than Shifu, you are kind of lacking like plug and play mons. Like they don't really, none of them really like play the game for you.
But,
Like
like,
Steph
it's fine. You still be over.
confidence.
Hades, you are not asked. Didn't you make playoffs this season? No, I know you missed on SOS, but I think you can do well with this. I really do. But yeah, I
Also,
guess
you want to talk about Encore. Screamtail is like
Screamtail
the
first. Yeah.
Encore mon of all time.
I hate this thing. I hate this thing. It's good. It's just so annoying.
It's very annoying.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's pretty. I think that
with
will
that,
wrap up Thunderclap for us. So thanks, Tenkai, for hopping on. I hope you guys enjoy this part.
my
I
pleasure.
do actually need to open a new presentation for the next one just because of some technical stuff. So I'm gonna close this, so it'll be nothing on screen for a minute. But yeah, next up we will be moving on to Burning Bulwark. Thanks for hopping in, Tenkai. I'm going to let Croc now real quick that we are going to start Burning Bulwark soon.
My pleasure. Everyone, stick around for Burning Bulwark. I'll be watching.
And we'll have Psyblade later too today. Yep.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yep. Okay, let's. Well, that's going with me. So everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed the first part. Give me 1 second. I need to close this because a little behind the scenes fact. We did not have Psyblade rankings done before the stream started, so I need to get the new presentation open, and then.
Hello.
Hear
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How does Croc's audio quality sound? Oops. Shoot. Let me close this.
Wait, I have the stream on my phone, so I can still see some stuff.
Oh wait, why did I do it? I'm an idiot. You are not seeing spoilers, everyone. You are not seeing spoilers. You are not seeing anything. Do not worry about it. I am bad at this whole streaming thing. Woman weeks. Yes, sorry. I am really bad at this whole streaming thing. So
Damn, a jet plane? Swear to God, I'm at my house.
Is Croc's audio fine, everyone? Just let me know. Let me know if Croc's audio is fine, please. And then if he does, I guess we can get started. Oh, I need to ping Burning Bulwark 1 second. Let them know we're getting started on theirs. Also, I get pinged. Okay.
Slightly down? Okay, hold on.
Okay, they have been pinged. So let's give it like 2 minutes so that they can get in here before we start getting into team number 16.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, so I will turn Croc down a bit. 1 second. Yep. We can start better than recent Pokemon. Give me 1 second. I need to remember how to turn someone down manually. I will figure it out 1 second. User volume. I think that's fine. Try talking now. Try talking now, and then chat. Let me know how Croc sounds now.
All right. Do I sound okay?
Is he
double it? Thank you, Frosty. You're so good
volume
for that,
better
brother.
now? Hopefully, sounds good. Perfect. Cool.
Thank you, Vulcan.
Great.
Right,
so we'll give it until 7:15. Then we'll get
perfect. Even. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. So let me get this up. Hey, that one's. Let me get my Burning Bulwark notes up so I have them to refer to. Yes, this is our first top division. We did like a lot of the Thunderclap drafts. I'm just to say here, Burning Bulwark had a lot of really, really good drafts. Like this one was really hard to rank. There were so many great drafts in this division. There were a few I think we generally agreed were not great, but there were some very, very strong ones in this one. It should be.
And even those, like the ones I'm thinking of, are like easily fixable with minor tweaks.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a draft that's like completely cooked.
Yeah, every draft in here definitely has like potential at minimum. Yeah. Why am I open? Yeah, so I think let's give it 1 more minute for people to join, and then we will get started with our number 16 team. Okay. Hopefully some Barry Bulwark cards have got in here. Let's see how we're doing. Looks like a lot of Thunderclap players left, but that's okay. That's fine. Well, it's fine. I'm sure they'll get it. Anyway, I guess we can get started. So, let's start with number 16 for Burning Bulwark, and we did both agree on this one. Wolves, come on. We had Necro Wolves at number 16. I guess I'll start. I don't know what to think about this draft. Like, the top 3 are good, and it falls off a cliff. Like, oh god, it's hard to describe because it's just so weird. P2 and May is like an okay core, I guess, but they're both pretty passive unless you run like Analake or download P2. Slitherwing is like an okay mon. Hey Cowboy, yeah, we're doing Psyblade after. Psy will be a while, but and then Orbeetle I think is one of the worst Pokemon. I think this thing's so bad. Arbok's like okay for its price. Like, Terradine and Terramillion are good mons, obviously. Grinch is a good mon, of course. There's a lot of things I don't love about it. Mega Chomp being the only rocker isn't great. Like, it can rock every week. It can easily do it, but like, it doesn't want to. Potentially for my ASMA Source and Scale Shot sets. And also, like, no Encore is another thing for me. Like, this team has a lot of trouble with opposing setup. I actually have, like, the first impression, and like, Whirlwind Mandibuzz. That's about it. I just don't really like this team. Also, I know this is waters are kind of a problem. Like, you do not break down water types well at all. Or switch into them.
Yeah, pray don't fight Terra Wellspring with
Or
this
just
team.
Talifin.
Because, like, me personally, oh yeah. My guy. Another thing I noticed, this team is extremely weak to Bird Spam. Like, you got Melmetal as that resist, but then if Melmetal takes repeated hits with no Wish Pass or potentially we get it back, yikes. Like, the moment Melmetal goes down or Terras, it's not great
Torn
there.
would be very scary.
A lot of fighting types also beat this team. Like, your defensive core is like Mandibuzz, P2, yeah, you got them. And then you have Orbeetle for your fighting resist.
Slitherwing's an okay fighting resist. It gets more Sunny as recovery. It's like not that bad, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, Slitherwing can run bulky sets for sure. It does have access to Wisp, from what I remember.
Yeah,
Wisp,
it gets
Morning
Wisp,
Sun. But like most
it's
fightings,
an okay mon. I don't love Slitherwing, but I think it fits here okay.
Sure, for sure. And one other type thing. Enamorous and Melmetal both love to Terra ground, but then other than that, like this team gets ran over by a good electric.
Oh yeah, that's another fan. Like in a Hay and Power meta, Chomp, it can take HPS. Most HPS is doing like 40 to 60, but like without the sustain for it with the recovery option of Wish, it will get worn down. Look at Coco into this team. Oh my god, look at Coco into this team.
Oh, jeez.
That is not fun. That is not fun. But yeah,
oh my god.
I think we just both kind of agree that this is the worst team in the division. Like, it's got some high points, but it has a lot of low points.
I really think it's just a matter of reworking a few of the lower mons. Like, that top 3, I agree, are great. I like Mandibuzz, who just has a bulky guy. You U-turn into a Nam, you U-turn into Melmetal, they click their buttons.
On here too. Yeah, Mandibuzz fits well here. Porygon Teleport is nice. Like, the top 6 are a functional core. I just think the rest of the draft really does not hold up. And the top 6, even though it's a functional core, has some pretty exploitable weaknesses.
For sure. Admittedly, I think a good Ghost might help here.
I do agree with that. I think that will be helpful. But yeah, there's not too much else to say like about this team. It's just like got some pretty fundamental issues and like I don't know. There's not much else to say. It's kind of just weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's move on to number 15, where we have number 14. We had 2 ties for 14. So first we have D-Ray, who I had 12 and Crockett at 15th. I guess I'll go first since I like this team a little more than you did. I do think Terror Shifu is pretty solid. I think 12 points might be a bit much for it, but I think it's solid. The top 6 are just all great mons, and they work really well together. Biggest problem is that it's a 6-mon team. Wishiwashi is a real mon, I guess, but Probopass isn't, and Kamala is pretty bad. And, like, even though you do have this pretty good top 6, I don't know, it doesn't feel amazing. I mean, no spikes, and everybody's bundle loves spikes to wear down his checks. Would be really appreciated. another thing I noticed is that it feels like this team is gonna have to run Wishy Washy and Kamala a lot to patch up like holes. And those are mons you do not want coming to more than like 3 games max each. And I feel like most games, one or both of them will have to come, which means you have to dropping over your top mons, which is really not a situation you want to be in.
For sure. Something I noticed Lantern just said, Kamal's a copium ghost check. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
Your
for
other
sure.
resist is Urshifu, who does not want to switch into hits. Like, I absolutely agree that this is a 6-mon team, but the 6 are fantastic. They are all great Pokemon, and they all
yeah,
do a
for
lot
sure.
of things. But then the moment pick 7 hits me with Terra Probopass, I'm like, come on. It's like the only also like hazards wise too. I mean, you have Treads and you have Clefable who are both getting rocks up. Treads can sometimes struggle to slot both rocks and spin, which is nice that Clefable is there as that option. I do agree that no spikes kind of does suck. Because really, Urshifu, like this team with spikes would be insane. Like you already can't switch into Terra Urshifu, and then with a spike up,
It's
yeah,
not
no,
fun, yeah.
you're cooked.
You're wearing down the
Absolutely.
Ferris rule. Yeah, I will
For
say I
sure.
am a wishy-washy believer. I have used it before. I like them on a lot. I just don't like how often he's gonna have to bring it. Is my bigger issue with the thing. Like it's a good. I think objectively for its price, it's really solid. It's just a great bulky pivot. Does good damage output. Good slow momentum of U-turn. I think it's flip turn too. Like, it's a good mon, but it just is carrying so much weight on this team, which is
Yeah,
not
for sure.
good. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Because this team, I can see it succeeding because it's literally you have Glowking, you have Clef, 2 fantastic defensive pivots. You click Teleport, you click Chilly Reception, you bring in either Urshifu, Bundle,
welcome,
or
Pony.
Latios,
Welcome.
and they click their buttons.
Yeah. So like this team can definitely function well. It just feels like it's very linear. Most of the mons do 1 or 2 things at most. But yeah, like I
Mhm.
mean, I'm sure he can pilot it well, and I'm sure like it will get wins. But I think his team won't be that hard to prep for. Is one thing I will pull up. Yeah, thank God spec isn't legal, but also why the hell is spec legal anywhere anymore? I'm not getting off that rant right now, but yeah. Um,
I have a bit more faith in Natdex Clef
Clef is not
than
Natix
P-Dex
Clef is
Clef.
okay. It's still not great because stats have kind of gotten power creep finally. Surprised they took 9 generations for that, but I know I think it fits here fine. It does the job. It teleports into Urshifu and Bundle and Latios, which is like really nice because then they all click their big stupid buttons.
It's also clicking T-Wave to help out for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
and just was
good speed
I think it
control.
fits well on this team, even though I do think it's gone down in viability this gem for sure. And we probably should have put it lower than 15, but hindsight, Slowpoke clears.
Yeah,
I am a slowpoke believer, but yeah. Um, I don't know this team doesn't feel that bad. It's just like the 6 are like not. The 6 are good. It is kind of like really linear.
for sure.
And our team tied for 14th, then we have is Minnie, who I had lower than you. Why don't you go first into your positives on this team?
Okay, I'm watching this Burning Bulwark battle. I see turn 1, that Dracovish Terra Waters. It clicks Fishes, Red, and deals 96 to that Prim. I'm like, oh my god.
That was
That
beautiful.
thing's just a really good button
Welcome, Gio.
clicker. And then you have like Lando I. Like I'm not sure about Terra Cinderace as another captain. I do think it can be good. Like personally, I think if you like put that Terra on like Feeny,
I mean,
maybe put it
Cinderace
on
was
like
free, to be fair. We did not tax Terra Cinderace,
oh
so that's why he
fair
probably
enough,
did
fair
it.
enough.
But I do agree, like, Terra Finny or something would have been cool. But I think he just did is like there was no downside because Cinderace is a free Terra for us.
That is true. Literally no downside to having it.
Gio, the call
I
is
like the
me and Croc,
defense.
right? Gio, the call is me and Croc. What we're doing is we have a different person, a mob for each division. So I had Tank Guy with me for Thunderclap, and now Croc is joining me for Burning Bulwark. Yep. And
Indeed,
as you were
I
saying,
am here. Yes, I really like the defense. Feeny, I'm a big Amogus believer. I had it in my first ever BPL draft, and it put in numbers for me. I do think it can sometimes get a little counterintuitive because Amogus likes clicking Sport, it likes clicking Toxic, but Feeny's getting up terrain that then gets in the way of that. It is definitely being able to like you can play around that, but even having that option isn't great. And then we hit those lower tiers. Not sure about Gambit, only because here, like the Sucker Punch option, I think it's a good way to be able to check those faster threats, since a lot of Mons are going to be running Scarf against you because they need something that's faster than Scarfish. So having that Sucker Punch option is there. Mega Aerodactyl being there as just a really fast Mon that still outspeeds certain Scarfers just because it's so fast. Espeon, it's probably. I'm not sure about Espeon. I'm not sure about Golem, but I do really like Terra, Vish, and Lando Eye offense. I think
Yeah.
that's just gonna be really strong in general.
Oh yeah, Dak, you did not give 16th, by the way. But yeah, I don't know. I do like this draft. No Encore or Spikes is kind of a big thing for me in Gen 9. I wish this team had that. I think those are just fundamentals of Gen 9. Also, Bulky Water, like, the only thing is kind of funny, but as crazy as Pterodactyl is, I don't think his team supports it that well. You don't have great ways to break down water immunities. Well, like a Grass or Electric, because a lot of those are
It does.
water types.
Another thing it definitely wants is more pivots. There aren't like good slow pivots to help have Dracovish hit the field safely. For sure, is another thing. Like if Amogus had like U-turn, it would be great, but it's hard to have Dracovish hit the field safely
I
as
mean,
well.
Mini
Going
is a
on that
VGC
point.
player, though, so he will make Amoongus look broken, I'm sure.
Oh, Amogus is a great mod. I'm not hating on
Yeah,
Amogus.
I know. But
It's
I
just
mean,
a matter
I
of
get what you mean,
it might be hard for Dracovish to hit the field.
I mean, I agree to an extent that Vish doesn't really need support. It's just like specifically the ones that are immune to water are a bit annoying. But I don't know. I think I did see a Star game that was beautiful. I know. I think this team's still solid. I had it really low, but I still like the team. Like the top seven's really good. I know every team in this
Oh,
in this
for sure.
division is just like really strong, and even though we had this really well, like it's still very good.
I was agonizing over these placements. I like a lot of these teams.
Yeah, like literally Necro was probably the only team that I really really dislike on the draft. I mean on the board.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, on to number 13. We have Gran, who we both had about the same spot. We both had him pretty low. Yeah. So we both had him like, yeah, pretty low. It's, I don't know, this is a weird team to me. Coco Moth is cool. I get it. I get the Coco Moth is cool. Lando's decent here. God, yeah, Lando's decent here. Roaring Moon is pretty solid. I don't like the mons themselves are fine. Terra Buswell seems interesting, but I feel like you want to tear him off so many games anyway. Albeit Buswell doesn't need it, so that's nice. I don't like the Mega Glalie here. I really don't like the Mega Glalie on a team with like no good removal. It's just not supported well at all. I know. No Encore again, which I know like I keep bringing it up, but I think that move is broken. Well, no priority outside the Ice Shard and Glalie, and Glalie is a bad mon, so you know. And then it's just so underwhelming. I'm sorry. Like this team just doesn't impress me. It just doesn't blow me
For
away.
sure,
like
I
all
can
ours
see
do.
that.
Like it's fine. It's solid.
I do. Alright, let me see. I do really like the top four. Coco Moth is just a crazy good combo
really good,
for
yeah.
Gen 9, like you always tried and true. I do like Lando T here. For Moth and Roaring Moon, it helps get them in. It then also weakens whatever's on the opposite side of the field, so Moth can agility or Roaring Moon can D-dance easier. Zong, just a good overall solid steal. I want to see Terra Buzzwole work. I think of all the Ultra Beasts, it's an interesting one to have as your Terra captain because I don't know if it helps it more, if it doesn't really do anything. Since a lot of like the Ultra Beasts that like Terra tend to use it in a way where it's more offensive, but like I'm not sure. I do like Wish Passing. I love Vaporeon. I do think it's another good pivot. I do agree with Mega Glalie. I'm not sure why Bro's here. And then Eldegoss being the spinner.
Eldragoss is okay. For its
I
price
mean,
is okay.
For a good low tier grass, it's good. And I do think there's a bit more place for Mega Glalie because Coco can run a bulky defog set, and Lando T can slot defog in at times. But I do think you'd want a better spinner for Mega Glalie. But
I
even
do. I
then,
mean, yeah, but I don't
Mega
think
Glalie's
Mega should.
underwhelming.
I would argue more so for the Moth you want a better spinner because like the Moth pre-Terra really doesn't like rocks.
For sure. Moth doesn't really want to run boots if it's that Terramon. You want booster energy, you want specs, you want maybe leftovers if you're trying to do like a bulkier setup set. But for sure, I agree with that.
But yeah, I know this team just doesn't impress me really. Like it's fine, Synergy's decent. It just doesn't feel like as strong as a lot of the other teams in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It can definitely do things. I think it can be piloted well, but compared to someone like the other teams I've seen, yeah,
Yeah, I
some
mean,
crazy teams.
and Grant knows what he's doing, so he can definitely make it work. But it's gonna be interesting to see how it does. I'm sure. We Coco U-turn to head to bounce this rocks. That would be hot. I'm not gonna. That would be really
Jet
hot.
button and moth. Oh,
Oh, that is beautiful.
so true, Dad.
Yeah. Hey, Glowy does go boom, except it's only word speed, so it dies before it goes boom. But yeah,
We love
he's
that
a good
refrigerator
Moth team. I
brew,
agree.
so
He
the bulky
seems
water
supports
eats
Moth really well. On to number 12, we have Bash, who I had right in the middle and Croc had a bit lower, so I guess I'll start by going into what I really like about it. Well, obviously the offense is really good here. Paladin, Zeraora, that's a nasty combo. And then you have like Ments to break down those grasses. Yeah, we did finish Thunderclap T-Wolf. Let me check what your place. I don't remember what place you were. T-Wolf, you were.
T-Wolf, I think, was like lower half, right? Like around 12, 13.
T-Wolf, you were.
I did watch all of them.
T-Wolf, you were 13th. Yeah. Let me. Yeah. Is Bash an SS player? I mean, he could be. But anyway, yeah, Stacked, you do lose if you 1v1 with Boom. You do kill yourself if you lose. So, I don't know. I really like the offense here. Paladin's there is just a gross combo, and Terra Mens is really solid because it gives it really good flying stab to break through his grasses. These three just work really well together. And then, top, I don't know, the defensive core is pretty good. Corv, Donphan, Mega Vini is really fat. So, this is definitely a balance team, which is not something we see very often. No, Cobra, SS is Sword and Shield. This is a Palutino Core VV. This is very true. It's the second one of those you've seen, but it's just really good. Like, every month, I don't know what to say. I guess my issues with it that may not be higher. Donphan's only real rocker because Nako Stack is not a real Pokemon. And no spikes, which again I think would be nice to break down those bulky grasses, which are obviously on the ground. I think the spikes would be helpful for bulky grasses. I don't know. Also, ices are kind of a problem in general. Like, yes, you have bulky monsters that can take the hits, but like if they get worn down, ice does kind of queen. Oh, Gran, so are you surprised you got 13th as in too high or too low? Also welcome. But yeah, I really like. I know. I finished actually good. This guy fires 4 NFEs, which is very funny. Yeah, Grand. I'll be honest, this was really hard division. There were yes, many you were tied for 14th. I'll be honest, Grand. This was a real division. Every draft was so good. Like the fact you were down 13th isn't really an. Yes, many you were tied for 14th. Like yes, many. I mean, yes, Grand. Your draft was like 13, but I think it's still a good draft. Just that every draft here was really good, except like a couple. So you're like the lowest of, in my opinion, the really good drafts. So that's just kind of what happened with you, Grant. I still think your team's good. But yeah, on Bash, the 4 MFEs is kind of funny, but I don't know. If you're going to do balance in Gen 9, I think this is the way you do it. It's basically how I'm going to put it. What do you think about this team?
Okay, I love the top 3 here. Hey, Palafin, that's my guy. I really like Terra Mens just because like you said, annihilates grasses. And I also just think that's like one of the better Terra caps in general, like of the lower ones.
Of like the
Like,
not
not like
crazy
your
insane
25
ones, it's really good still.
Oh, for sure. And then I really like the core of Mega Venus Sylveon core. I think that's really, really good defense. But I do think right after Sylveon, the draft gets weird.
I mean, it's a
I
bunch
think you
of
can
NFEs,
condense
yeah.
a lot of the. I think you can condense them into just overall better Pokemon.
For sure.
The draft caps at 115, and that 115er is Sneasel. And if
Well,
that's
there's a
me
Zera.
personally,
There's a
I'm
Zera.
not respecting Sneasel. I feel like any mon around like base 120 would just prep
Well, there's a Zera though. Like I wouldn't say it
Palafin
caps at
elements. That's for sure
115.
coming.
You say it caps at
Oh,
115. There's
sorry.
a whole
It
Zera.
caps at 115, and then you hit Zera Aura, which is 143, which is a
Yeah.
giant gap.
That's fair, yeah.
Is what I mean. Apologies.
No, you're
Also, I agree, Phony. Gorgeous is better than Sylveon. Gorgeous is my goat.
good. Yeah, I mean, I generally,
Like,
go ahead.
oh no, like that's really all of my notes on that. Though I do think it's also kind of rock weak with Corviknight being your steel. You're still not like having that rock resist, and then Donphan, while is a great rock resist, you can play around it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Admittedly, that's all of my notes. I really like those first 7. It has Palafin. I can't hate. That's my guy.
Yeah, I just think, again, it's a really good team. As we've stated, like every team in this division, except like the bottom, like 3 maybe, is really good.
For sure.
Hey, on to number 11, where we have Kron, who I had middle, you had towards the bottom, so I guess I'll start by going into why I like this team. I think just how to explain this. The first thing I really like is the breaking power, and you have really ways to get in your breakers. Is the thing. You turn Lop, flip turn Aloe, Volt Switch, Vikavolt, all are easily get in. Your Chi-Yu, your way to click buttons, even extra if it's like banded hits really hard. If only you would put this 16th, fair enough. I don't know. I just generally think this team's pretty solid. Good offense. You have a great cleaner in WAP for later, which is nice. Good hazards. With Drill Drill being forced to rock if you don't bring Gigalith is kind of unfortunate, but it's fine. My main issue with this team is just it feels a little underwhelming to me. It does feel a bit underwhelming to me for sure. Like it doesn't have anything that really blows me away, but I think the ability to gain the breaker so easily would do a lot of work. It'll do a lot of work. Dark and Ghost are a bit of an issue because both Chi-Yu and Wop don't really want to switch into stuff very often, but I think the team is pretty good overall. Like I don't see that many issues with it. And Gerald, what's your takes on this team?
All right. I actually do like this team. It's lower, like you said. There's a lot of good drafts here, but that's Fishy Wishy. I love Fishy Wishy. It's such a good Pokemon. Like this is literally Alola Vikavolt. Vikavolt gets up webs, which I really like the webs aspect here. They flip turn out, they volt switch out into Chi-Yu, Megalop, or Tapu Lele, and they just annihilate whatever is in front of them. I like the mini sand option with Gigalith, which also gives a good flying resist. I do think you kind of struggle to fit Gigalith onto like a comp, since you really tend to want to bring those top 6 most of the time. But like, it's still the option is there. Not sure about Bramblegast. Like, I'm not sure what it does besides get spikes up and just kind of
Spike,
be annoying.
Spin kind of hit decently hard with like power Poltergeist.
My thing with Spin is that you got the bro Excadrill right there who's a top 5 spinner.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly. Yeah,
so I guess in that sense, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, no. I just think it's gonna be really those top 6 come to most games. You can fit in Gigalith. You can fit in Noivern. I do like Noivern. This has a lot of mons in draft that I just love to have.
Yeah.
Have a lot of fun with. Like, I really want to draft Chi again. Oh my god, I need Chi back in my life. But like, no, that's really all my thoughts on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. I do think it's a little underwhelming in some regards, but as long as you can get in the breakers, you can make it work really well. I do agree with
Sure.
like having a way to punish removal for those webs would be nice, because this team does really appreciate webs like a lot. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I love the Vikavolt pickup here. It fits insanely well.
Yeah, it is quite solid. We will get on to number 10 then, which is Chungus, who I had towards low middle, you had towards high middle. I guess why don't you talk about this team first?
Oh, for sure. I just really like a good balanced team. It tends to be my kind of drafts. And I'm looking at this team and I'm like, wow, this is just overall really solid. Every single mon here comes to games. Darkrai Terra combo is really good offense. And sure, stabs are resisted by fairies, but Darkrai can slot in Sludge Bomb, Como Terra Steals, and then you also have Nido Queen to not only get up hazards, but then also kill those fairies. Skarmory, yes, is kind of a momentum killer, but it getting up spikes is just kind of evil with this whole team. I like Victini as a pivot. I like Rotom Wash as a pivot. Not sure about Zorina here. I mean, it fits. It's a good spinner. You want it to be here so those Skarmory spikes stay up. If I'm looking at the speed tiers, just in general, the drop from Skarmory to Munchlax is very funny.
True, I mean, there's nothing that really matters there.
Oh no, it doesn't. I just think it's funny from when it goes from 70 to 5. But my opinion on this is like it's strong, but it's definitely not broken. Like you're not looking at this team and you're like, oh my god, I'm screwed. You're looking at this team like, ooh, this is gonna suck, but I have a chance, which is my opinion on that.
Yeah, I guess I'll go into why I don't really like this team that much. Like it's fine. It's it's okay. I guess my first issue is I don't respect Terracomo. I think that thing is super underrated. I think that thing is just not that good. Yeah, Victini's a breaker, by the way. It's not a pivot. It just clicks a button.
May have misspoke. Oops.
And,
I kind of forgot about my bro clicking Banded V create.
And then we have no fairy, which is kind of no. I don't care that much about, but like special dragons just fuck this team so badly. Draco Meteor just
I agree with
this
that.
team does
No
not
fairy.
like Draco Meteor as a move. Because Skarm is just like it's just not great. I know. Also a little light on momentum. I think it will have a bit of a hard time getting his breakers. Like you have Volt Switch Rotom and you turn Victini, but Victini's the breaker. I mean, that's the thing that wants to get brought in. So you don't have great
For sure.
like Rotom's showing real momentum to get things in, which I don't love that. Because Darkrai especially does not want to be switching in hard on stuff. It does not want to do that.
I mean, Zarina can also serve that purpose of
oh yeah, just get U-turn. I
like
forgot. Because Serena's a bad
pivot.
mon. I forgot.
Real.
Oh, and yesterday you saw Specs come do low 30s to an AV Reuniclus. Well, Reuniclus is the GOAT. That's the thing. But
That bro is bulky.
no, you can use V-Create twice. V-Create's amazing. V is an amazing move. I don't know.
It depends on your position, but nah. Banded V create, very fun button to click.
Yeah. Grim, I'm going to be honest, Munchlax is not coming to games. If Munchlax is his Draco check, that's a problem.
Who says it's the Draco check?
Grim in chat.
Admittedly, there's a strong ghost on the other side of the field, and I kind of need something, because otherwise, the fake resist.
Just the way I see this, it seems fine. It's got mostly good mons. It just doesn't impress me. It really doesn't. Like, round 2 Terra Como, I don't get it. I don't get the Terra Lycanroc, and it's coming from a Lycanroc believer. Well, I was Lycanroc believer before. I mean, it's not good anymore. I liked it in Gen 7 and 8, but this team just doesn't live up to me. Like, it's fine. That's what I mean. It's fine. It does what it does. in Chungus. I will say Chungus last season did prove me wrong on Terra Hydreigon. I thought Hydreigon would not be insane of Terra, and then he did roll. I think he moved up 2 points this season, but I don't think Komodo will live up to that. But maybe he'll prove me wrong on the Terra again, and he'll make it kill leader in top div like he did with Hydra. We'll see. But I do think this team is going to be relying on Komodo to function. I'm not sure if it can hold up to that.
Yeah, I do see that. And I do think Terra Komodo can do a lot of different things. Like, I do think it also has that bulkier aspect to it, where it can be a kind of bulkier mon that comes in, takes a hit, that hits back decently well. With Terra, I think really helps it there. But I do kind of see where it's a lot reliant on Terra Komodo.
Yeah. Dak, you're right. I do like Lycan Dusk Bear. I have been on Lycan Dusk Reaver draft. Minnie, you are wrong about Lycan Dusk looking cooler. It is just original Lycan Rock with a can of orange paint poured on it. And on that note, let's move on to number 9. And here we have Dak, who honestly I definitely put this low in hindsight. I don't know why I put it so low. This one was I was looking at. I'm like, I put this low, but also I was lazy. I had to make 6 of these, so I decided not to re-rank it. But why don't you go into why you think this team is so high?
It's really just the offense is crazy. Terra Mew, Mega Dia, Terrapagos, Terra Cartana, those all are mons that can just do insane things in general. Terrapagos is just a mon where, I'm in a losing position. Time to win the game. Terra Mew is extremely versatile. I think depending on what you need it to do, it'll do it, and it'll do it well. And I do think Mew will take Terra most of the time, but Cartana is a Terra captain that doesn't necessarily need to Terra all the time, so it still serves as like a good backup option if Mew ever goes down too early. I like Sandy Shocks getting up spikes for this team. Spikes with Mega Dia and Terra Cart, they're just going to hit extremely hard. There are some defensive pivots. I like Quillfish here. Another spiker, intimidates, flip turns out near hard hitters. Talonflame can do something similar where you can defog potential hazards away. You turn out to your different guys. I'm not sure about the last two.
I like a bomb stone. I like a bomb stone gen, but
I like a bomb stone in the sense that there's definitely a matchup where you're gonna want it to come in and it'll get up a veil, and then Terra Cart comes in and sets up and wins. Terrapagos comes in, sets up and wins. The only mon I'm not sure why it's here is Hisui and Sliggoo.
Yeah,
that's a guy. I would like to see him be somewhere, but that's the only mon I'm definitely not sure about.
I guess
overall, I just really like the offense. You have solid defensive pivots to help get those mons in, and I just think if you play it right, it'll put up numbers.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna respond for you saying how's this 13th. I think when I was honest, I was really worried about opposing psychics because there's no dark, and then like Carton doesn't deal with it, but like Sliggoo's not really a real mon, but there's a lot of really terrifying psychics in that decks. There's a lot of really freaking scary psychics in this format. But I don't know, like, outside of no dark, it's a kind of crazy team. The speed's pretty solid. It's like I like Sandy Shocks for the record. I think Sandy Shocks is pretty good. I don't know, I definitely should have put this higher for sure. Yeah, Terra Mew can walk in for sure, yeah. I don't know, I definitely underrated it. I underrated this team in regards of I saw like some things like matchups that were hard for it to deal, but you can just out offense. Who cares? Like in hindsight, this team's probably like top 6, top 7 at minimum. Yeah, if only I agree. Sure. No dark. I don't think no dark is that big a problem. I was more so worried about the psychic matchups. Like if I was just worried about the dark for a ghost, no, he's like Terrapagos. That doesn't matter. I thought like stuff like Necro was kind of an issue, but I don't know. I think this draft is definitely a lot better than I ranked it. And as I said, I was just lazy. I have to do 96 teams, so I did not re-rank this shit.
And admittedly, with Terra Mew, if there's a type you need, you can just be that type. Anything.
Terra Mew is
kind of what Terra Mew does.
Terra Mew is, in my opinion, a top 3 check on the board. I mean, a top 3 Mew Terra on the board. But that's it. I don't know. I definitely rate this. It's probably like top 6, top 7 at worst. I just, I don't know. I can't defend my own place in this. Yeah, let's move on to number 8, which is Smat, who I had pretty high. You had pretty low, and I think this is I think I overrated a bit. Terra Boulder did do rule of a Crash player last season, Bash winning with it, so they have shown they know how to use it for sure. I don't know, I just really like this team. It does pretty good. I do think it's not super, I don't know, in hindsight, I probably should put this lower. It feels a little underwhelming. I think Sneasler, I don't know, I really like the Mons though. I think the top 6 is crazy. I think the top 6 is really good. Lack of spikes is kind of annoying, I will say. I don't know. I generally think it's me back to randomly Jerry's rankings and see if he can win the. I kind of wish I did at this point, but some of my rankings are not great. But I don't know. I think just the Mons are pretty solid. I think it works well. In hindsight, it probably should have been quite a bit lower, but I don't know. I just didn't see many things I disliked about this team, or a lack of spikes, which Boulder would have really appreciated. I don't know, I probably should put this lower. Croc, what were your thoughts of this?
I really like, just right off the bat, the sheer amount of pivots. Like every single Mon has a way to get another Mon onto the field. So you're constantly gonna not see on the other side of the field. Like, think about it, like Perk comes in, takes a hit, you pivot in the Boulder, you pivot in Mega Scizor, you pivot in the Sneasler. They hit extremely hard. Something I immediately noticed when I looked at this team, he has the wrong terrain. I like Flacky, but if I'm seeing Sneasler and I'm seeing Terra Boulder, I think he could slot in Pinchurchin on this team, and it would do numbers. So that also gives him access to spikes, even if it's not the greatest spiker. It's a really solid team. Like, it's definitely not bad. That's my one single thing that I'm not a fan of. I do think that Thwackey, while it's a good Pokemon, you could replace it and then Vanillux with Pinchurchin and then maybe a different lower tier grass, and I'd like it more.
I can see that, yeah.
But it's just really good offense. I like it a lot.
I think Flacky's fine. I think it was better last gen, but I think it's still usable.
Oh, it's definitely still usable.
It's not as good
like
as
it definitely has a place on this team. I'm just looking at it, I'm like, I don't know. I think it could maybe help.
Terrible. I guess it could work here, but I think Pikachu's a terrible Pokemon, but I do think he actually kind of fits on this team, which is weird to say.
I think it very much. Are you bringing it all the time? God, no.
Please
but is
no.
there a situation where you see that Boulder absolutely rocks this other dude's team? You bring Pinchurchin, it comes in, it sets terrain, it gets a spike up, it dies, Boulder comes in, and then things start to drop. I think could potentially be there.
I think this definitely has win paths. I definitely overrated a bit, though. I'm very sure of that. I guess we can move on to number 7 then. I just need to check one thing real quick. Yes, Sneasler can proc itself. Sneasler does not need terrain.
It absolutely does not need terrain. Especially when you have high drive. You can
terrain wherever the hell it wants. Yeah, Sneasler does not need terrain. Rock and Senso. That item isn't even in the game anymore. Anyway. Number 7, we had Peyton. We both had Pre in the middle. I mean, this team is just like a good Polt team. Like, Polt, good breakers to get in, Quack for queening, Crown for queening. Like, I just don't really know. Just like this team. Terra Uxie is kind of funny, but it was free and it does do stuff. So like, it's not bad at all. I guess one main reason outside the top 2, it feels a little slow, but like, those top 2 are the top 2 speeds. I mean, Polt and Serp, but like they're really good at that, so it's fine. I don't know. I didn't really have many issues with this. Dragons are kind of annoying because Mawile wasn't the best check to him because it gets worn down really fast, and it's like, oh my god, Polt. Yeah, Void said that. Polt,
yeah, for sure.
Mawile, Terra Quack is an insane core. That top 3 is absurd. And then there's some pivots down below which deal with it pretty well with good offense. I don't know. Polt Mega Mob was wire fighting Terra in the Natix League. That's a very funny deck. Very funny. Yeah. I guess, yeah, Iron Crowd's like, okay. I know. I think the team is fine. It's really good. Like, I think this team is really good. It's in the middle because, like, there's a lot of really good teams. But like, this team is very, very solid. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it will do work. I'm sure Payne can make it do work. I just don't have much to say. It's just a really good team.
For sure. I agree with that. The top three are just absolutely crazy. I'm interested in seeing how the double steal with Mega Maw and Crown is going to go. Because when I think of like a double steal, I think of one like Mega Maw being the offensive one, and then you want like maybe a bulkier steal. But instead, it's approaching the offensive route with steal. If you have Mega Maw for your physical attacker and then Crown for your special attacker. I really want to see how that works. I love Crook here as a pursuit user to get rid of other ghosts potentially and
That is
just be a
solid.
good mon in general. It gets up rocks, it has intimidate. The double intimidate with Mawile pre mega and then Crook is funny.
Crook does a
Terra
lot of work on this
Yuxi,
team for sure.
Terra Yuxi, I like that it spreads T Wave to also help just make things even worse. Like your whole team's paralyzed and then Terra Duck has hit the field or Pulling has hit the field, and then it also gets up rocks. It can yawn. It U-turns out into Duck or Maw or Pult. I really like the increase in drafting of Cantonian Buck. It has really
I mean,
good
it got
value. For
knocking
the
T
points
spikes
that
this shit.
it
Like, it got so much better. Also, yeah, on the crown thing, I think AV's probably the most common set on non-Terra crown, but oftentimes we see crown with Terra, in which case booster's more common. But I do agree AV is really good on it, though. Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Uh,
I'm not sure about his Crustal character though.
I
I think
like
it could do
Crustle.
something. It'll
It's
show
a
up
good
once and
lead to not get a bunch of hazards and just kill everything, or if you really want to, you can make Shell Smash work. And like this team does break down its checks pretty decently. So like if you really wanted to pull it off, I think he could.
oh, Cloth over Crustal. Oh, I
I
love
didn't know if I'd
Cloth.
go that far. I don't know if I go that far.
My Cloth 1v1 to Scizor. He's goaded. But
Fair.
I do think another thing that's kind of surprising, Crustle does get spikes. So if he ever wants a that lead spiker with Crustle, it just hits turn one, spikes up, dies, and then we just begin the pull Emma Terra Duck offense.
Yeah, it just
I
gets
think could
rock
potentially
spikes
also
up because it
just be
runs sturdy
used.
custom. Like it just gets you off to a really good start. It's a really good pick for its
For sure.
price. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that one. It's just a great team. Great team. Good job.
For sure.
On to number 6, we have Mick, who I had pretty towards the top. You had towards the middle. I guess I'll start to what I liked about this team, which is everything. I really like this team. I think there's really great. I'm trying to think how it is. Well, Terazuru is broken, as we all know. Terazuru is absurd. It has really good supporting pieces around it to get the hazards up and to prevent them from going away, which enables it super well. Prim is a good breaker. Golango's a good breaker for Zuru to clean the late game. Chomp can break or can clean, whatever you prefer. Mega B, I don't know. Mega B is kind of weird on this team, but I do like it. I do like it. Like, I don't know. I wish there was some more removal for Beedrill, but you don't want to ever bring Cyclozar, but you can make it work for sure. And, like, Suwoo's an unmon, but who cares? The top 8 are amazing. Like, this team's just really good. Every mon does what it wants to really well. Most of them can have, like, 4 sets. Like, Chomp, Zarude, Going Go, have a bunch of different sets. Mesprit does. Prim is pretty versatile. This team looks really hard to prep for, in general. Yeah. Mon Mega Arrow, but Mini happened. Fair enough. That makes sense, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, Mega Arrow
I
on
just
this team
don't
would be
see
nuts.
much that I would ever change. What are your thoughts on this team?
I really like it. Did I probably put it lower than it should have? I definitely did that with a few teams. But I really like just the sheer amount of constant offense here. Like those first 5, all of them just hit extremely hard while also doing other things. Like Hisuian Samurott spikes, Garchomp getting up hazards as well, and then you have Terra Gold to just stop anything from going away. So you're constantly just taking shit is crazy. Zarude is definitely a fantastic Terra captain. Depending on like the defense of the opposing team. You can either Terra Zarude and then have it put in numbers, or you Terra Gold and have it put in numbers. The double water with Hisuian Samurai and Prim, I like. Mesprit here is pretty solid. I also am not sure about Mega B, but I do think as a backup to Mega Arrow, it does work. It does have a place.
Oh, you're stacking.
Really
You're
like it.
stacking really
It's
bad.
a solid spinner when you have so much hazards when you never want to be clicking to fog.
Yeah, I just think like this team's cracked. It really is.
It is nuts. There are a lot of good teams, and this is the first one where I'm looking at it again. And I'm like, yeah, I undersold it. I would put it higher if I
But
redid
yeah,
my
like
rankings.
it's really good for sure. Okay, and now we are into our top 5. Help! The Emmons are holding me hostage, so I got out of that. What the fuck? I love you. Anyway, number 5 we have Geo, who
What
this
is
is one that
happening in the chat?
you had in second. I had like the middle. So why don't you say talk about how much you like this team?
Okay, is this a 7 mon draft? Absolutely, no question. But do the 7 put in Jordan numbers? Absolutely. Like, first of all, you have Terra Ogre Bonteal. Fantastic Terra captain. Also gives you great speed control. And then, oh man, if only I had Mons that absolutely destroyed every single grass resist. Oh, I have Iron Valiant, Gouging Fire, and Ursula Blood Moon. Oh man, if only I could have these Mons hit the field safely. Oh boy, that's Teleport Slow Bro. Fantastic. I just think it's extremely hard to switch into the first 4, especially when they're getting in for free through Slowbro, who's also potentially slowing those mons down with T-Wave. And then you have Crobat, who I like as a speed tier that's faster than Val. But Crobat is also a good utility mon in general. It can run a solid defensive set. It can sweep with Nasty Plot. It can help the fog hazards away. It's just an overall good mon. Terra Registeel, I'm never sure about the Terra mon. Like, because when you have a steel, you tend to want to have it as your steel. But I do think that that Registeel can do some cool things with Terra. I think it'll be cool.
I think
I
I'm
just
pretty sure it's.
I just really like
Pretty
this
sure
team.
Registeel's a
It just
free
looks
Terra.
super fun.
Pretty sure it's a free Terra. Pretty sure. It
I'm
might
pretty
be
sure
1
it
point.
was.
I'm not
Or
sure.
it was like 1 extra point.
Yeah. I guess I'll go into like the things I don't really like this team that much. I don't. Again, this is another team with no dark, and albeit I think it's a little better off than in that regard than the other one. Like it's not. It's still kind of a problem. I do agree that Registeel being the only rocker is super exploitable. Like Registeel is
no.
such taunt bait.
That's
It's
in my
so easy to
notes.
take advantage of. This team does not. Yeah, no real hazards. No spikes. I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, Ogerpon gets spikes. Ogerpon gets spikes, but he doesn't want to be a spiker when he's
Ogerpon
Terramon.
has a spiker.
Yeah. I feel like you're gonna
It
need a lot of
depends.
boots on this team.
If you maybe want to set up.
Do I think you're gonna want a lot of boots on this team
the
because
91
like
50 team.
your removal is a Crobat, I guess Rotom, which isn't great. And I do have feeling this team gets like kind of shredded by Taunt and Encore. Those moves both. Hey D-Ray, welcome. You missed yourself. You were tied for I believe 14th, but the VOD will be posted where if you want to take a look at that. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. Also, have fun switching into dark types when you're. Sorry, D-Ray. Sorry, D-Ray. Yeah, your dark switch is like a Valiant, which doesn't want to switch into things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I probably should have specified that, even though we got 14th. I really like this team still, but yeah. Yeah, this I know. For the record, D-Ray, I said Wishy Washy was a good mon. For the record, I did specify Wishy Washy was a good mon. I just don't think you should be bringing it every game.
I can confirm. Can confirm.
I just don't think you should be bringing it every game. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just. I don't know. I just. I don't know. I just don't think you should be bringing it every game. Yeah, I know. I just. I don't know. I just don't think you should be bringing it every game. Yeah, I know. I just. I don't know. I just don't think you should be bringing it every game. Yeah, I know. I just. I don't know. I just don't think you should be bringing it every game. Yeah, I know. I just. this team just does not impress me. This team feels like somebody would stomp newer players, and then when players actually know how the counterplay for it, it will just kind of fall. Wait, Wishy came to 90% of your
That's
games
something
last
I can
season? I did
see.
not realize that. Or last season? Fair enough.
Wow.
If you have, I'll take it as wishy-washy is your signature mod at this point, and you will make it work. Yeah, I do agree. After a top 3, it's just Dashless isn't that great. I still think it's fine. I have it mid for a reason because it does still have like the ability to do work and to punch through things, but I think it does have a lot of counterplay that needs to be accounted for. Nipon, we are in Burning Bulwark right now. Yep, I think Blood Moon's a good mon. I don't think it's broken, but I think Blood Moon is a good mon. Yeah, I know. Also, non-Terra Bastiodon is terrible, by the way. It's Mesprit or wait,
Yeah,
yeah, Mesprit or Uxie would be better than Slowbro for sure. I know. This is a weird one. It has a lot of potential, but it also has a lot of potential to get shut down really easily. So onward.
I think it really just matters on the momentum you have. But
Divine
I really like it. I think it's a really fun team.
Yeah. Let's get on to our number 4 then, which is Phony, who I had at 4th and you had 7th. I guess I'll get started on this one. This team is really, really good. A bunch of mons I love. I mean, Tusk is great. Meow Steela is absolutely great. Mega Camel's funny. Honestly, one of my Nixos teams, I don't think Mega Camel fits that well. I love Mega Camel. I really do. I just don't think it is amazing on this team, but I hope it does work anyway. Yeah. I didn't really have any issues with this team. I know Terra Nihilgo did work last season. I'm still not fully convinced on it, but I'm sure Phony will do well with it. Terra Blastoise is another one I think is a little underwhelming, but like he does kind of have some ways around mirror bullshit, so I think that helps with like super fat Screamtail and like T-Wave and stuff, so that helps. That's fair. Nihilgo's favorite mon. It's a cool mon for sure. Also, ghosts are kind of a problem because Meow doesn't really switch to them, but like Steel is so fat it can take on most ghosts anyway. Ask this Camel. I really like this team. I think it's got a lot of what you want. Good hazards. Blaster's is a great remover to allow D-Knight to not have to run rocks. It's just good speed as well. Good revenging. Good breaking with Tusk. It's D-Knight's a great breaker. Camel obviously punches, clicks the button, and things die. I love this team, and I could very well see myself drafting it. It looks super fun to use. It looks super solid. Looks just great in general.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah. And yeah.
I really like Tusk and Meow. Those are just really fantastic Gen 9 mons. I'm a big Celesteela believer. I love that Pokemon. I need to see the Power of Mirror Autotomi set brought at least once.
Do you see?
That is my favorite Celesteela set of all time.
Meteor Beam, yeah.
Want to see it cook.
It's very good.
Yeah. Power of Meteor Beam. I want to see it happen for sure.
Croc,
I actually really like Pterodactyl.
Like Phony is saying in chat, Croc, like Dact, I already said I screwed up your rating. Anyway, yeah, Croc. I already said I screwed up yours. Dact, baby. Phony said, Croc, why is it 7th? Flame me, I want to fight.
Oh, I see it. Admittedly, something I will absolutely say, I do think there is a draft that is similar to this later down the line that I like better. This team also gets specifically 6-0'd by ice types, specifically a fella like Weavile. Really hope you don't fight Weavile because he rips through this team.
I mean, I guess.
If I'm naming a specific ice, but ice does eat this team when the water is Blastoise, who also Terras out of water potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's
well, I
do
really think. Good. Oh, for sure. It is insanely fat. And a lot of the mons that, like, you're weak to a certain type, but then Screamtail is so fat, it's not even going to matter. Celesteela is so fat, it's not even going to matter.
That's what they do. So, like, I think
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's just a great team. Great team. Good job, Phony.
I definitely did not, Grim. Let's not get it twisted, dog.
Yeah, Scream. Blastoise are just a really good team. Oh yeah, Scarfield's weird. Chronicle up right now. I'm
Where am I pulling
Ponytail
up?
on SD.
Ponytail on SD.
How about after we finish burning Bulwark, you guys can do that. let's get on to our number 3, which is Kyle, who has a pretty cool rain team, if I have to say so myself. And yes, I don't know if Jake's here anymore, but Jake was obviously very happy I put the brain so high. I love this team.
Good rain
I
team.
mean, it's so good. Oh my god. Terra Torrent's obviously broken. Terra Fult's also really solid. Second Terra just punch things with Warmers in the rain. But what I really love about this team is it doesn't need the rain to function. Every single mon on this team can function outside of rain. Pelipper doesn't have to come to every game. It's good, don't get me wrong. And obviously you want to bring it when you can. But God, this team's just beautiful. I don't know what else to say. Has so much good stuff on it. Every mon is viable except mine. Mine's terrible. But every mon is viable. You have good out brain threats like Terra Torrent and Mega Glade. I don't know. This team just feels insane to me. This is really good rain.
I absolutely agree. I really like this team just overall. It has my goat, Overquill. I love that Pokemon. It is insanely good for the value it's at. And it's one of those mons that both fits in the rain and then also fits out of the rain. Getting a spike up for Mega Gallade or Torrentee or Arch is just broken. I really like the kind of defense you have here. Arch devours every single thing that rain wants to avoid. It wants to avoid opposing water, wants to avoid grass, wants to avoid electric. Arch eats it all. And then you also have Seismitoad who eats it.
Phony, this is Luffy Kyle. 2-player Kyle. That kind. Yeah, this is a very Kyle team. Oh, what were you saying, Crocodile? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. I just think overall, I absolutely agree. It's a rain team that doesn't need rain. Once again, I really like Overquill. I want to see Terrafulso put in numbers. I love Terrafulso here. I just think it's really fun. Mega Gallade is great outside of rain. Arch is just a fantastic Pokemon in general. There's not a lot to say other than it's extremely well made.
Yeah, this is really well done, and I expect Kyle to have an amazing season with it. This team, I would be so scared to fight this shit. Oh my god. Sometimes I'm looking at these drafts of Brain Bulwark and I'm like, thank God I'm not playing this season, so I don't have to deal with this bullshit because that would not be fun. But yeah, let's at least second if you upgrade mine into Puzzle. True. Let's move on to our number 2, which is Axel, who you had in first, I in 6. So why don't you go into why you like this team so much?
This is the team I was trying to draft in Thunderclap. The offensive combination of Terra Wellspring and Kyurem is just positively insane. There is not a single Pokemon in the entire world that stands up to both. And then you have Zapdos to serve as a pivot for both of them. And then you also have Ting Chillin Spikes. He'll just sit there, he'll get up hazards, making it even more impossible to switch into Wellspring or Kyurem. I really like Metagross as the steal here. It gives good priority with Bullet Punch. It gives you another solid rocker. You can run the offensive route with Metagross, weakness policy, Choice Band, Assault Vest, and then if you ever want run a defensive set, the defensive set then pairs extremely well with Ting Lu. As we noticed as we were looking at this team, Terra Salazzle, I like it here. Ogre is going to tend to Terra most of the time, but Terra Salazzle as the backup is great.
And Terra Salazzle was free because we are stupid, so that was a thing. It did not cost anything because I forgot to move it up. So that's relevant.
I'm not sure about good old Clefairy as the fairy.
Yeah, I don't like Clefairy.
That's where it loses me a little. I do like Go-Goat, though. He's the Go-Goat. I think that could put in work.
Welcome, I just think overall, I'm not sure who you are, if you're one of the... I don't recognize that name, but welcome. Anyway, you're saying Go-Goat's kind of cool. I've been liking Go-Goat recently.
I just think... I agree with Dact. A good spinner would be great here.
That would have been great here, yeah. Over the Goat.
In the chat.
Honestly, I would have just taken Eldegoss over the Go-Goat. I think that would have been solid, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, I see it. And I just think overall, extremely good offense, extremely good defense. Every mon here does something. I really like the composition. It looks really fun.
The Baron says Devonia. What Baron's? Oh, I see that. I did not see that he had a Baron. Baron, welcome div then. Now I know who it is. Wait, I do it. Now that I know who it is, welcome div. Anyway, yeah, I know this is just as Dak said, it's just a really good standard good stuff team. Like top 7 are great. Clefairy's ass. Go-Go's bringable. Like it's really good. I do agree with Phony that this team is a little hazard weak, but I don't think it matters that much. Like it's just very strong. Also, you did say what beats Wellspring Kyurem, my goat Empoleon, but yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until max defense Empoleon is taking still over half from Ogre by Wellspring Power Whip unboosted. As someone who's fighting an Empoleon with Terra Wellspring this week.
Would you? It does not insta lose to a single rock Phony. It's a bit much. But yeah, like just really good team. I get why I won. I had a bit lower because I didn't impress me as much as other teams, but still really good. So let's move on to our final team. If you know BPL, you should know what's probably left. Knock plus Rocks. Yeah, it's fair. Knock plus Rocks is really annoying. Kyurem's Zap. Yeah. I do wish this team had better removal. That would have been nice. Like a Mon that's not Zapdos for removing would have been appreciated. But I don't know. That's kind of why I didn't have it as high, but I still think it's really good. On to our number 1. It is. Oh, I didn't. 1 second. I didn't put the right screenshot on there. I am a dumbass. Give me a second. I'm an idiot.
No.
We are doing this manually. I forgot to put Zero's team on the dock. I forgot to put Zero's team on the dock because I am bad. Yes, I forgot to put Zero's team on the dock, Phony. I'm getting this right now. Zero. Here it is. Here is Zero's draft. I forgot to put Zero's team on the dock because fair. Yeah, I'm an idiot. But anyway, here's Zero's team. It's broken. Why don't you go into why it's broken while I fix this?
Absolutely. I love Terra Raging Bolt. That it's my opinion, it's the best Terra captain. But even outside of my personal bias, it's definitely still up there. I really like the pairing of Gliscor and Empoleon. Like I had it last season. It was fun, even if I'm the worst Gliscor user imaginable, known to man. Even they just form a really good core. Raging Bolt Weavile is gonna put up numbers. I think that's an insanely good offensive core. Deoxys speed isn't forced to run the lead set because you do have Gliscor and Empoleon getting up the hazards for you. The game plan is literally you have them on, it gets up spikes, Raging Bull hits the field, Weavile hits the field, Azumarill hits the field, they click buttons, things start to drop. If you need to switch out, you have your great defensive pivots in Gliscor and Empoleon who keep momentum and then just keep the pressure up. I just think it's really strong, really well made.
I love this team. It is, I mean, it's a very me team. There's a stupid deal, which obviously I love. I mean, Oinkulin's not a real Pokemon. That's very obvious. Oinkulin's not a real Pokemon, but like, God, this team has hazards, has removal, it has strong offense, strong defense, like with sustainability, which is something that you don't see don't see as often on a team this offensive. But like, Gliscor and Empoleon, they can still provide offensive pressure while sustaining themselves, which is huge. Terra Bolt's obviously broken. We all know this. Terra Empoleon is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how it will do, but I'm curious about that.
Did it cost extra to tear it?
Yeah.
Did Terra Empoleon cost anything to Terra, or was it a free Terra?
I think it costed 1. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Let me check my notes. No, Empoleon's free. Empoleon was free. Never mind. So that was 0. Fair enough.
Yeah, because I definitely see the vision if it doesn't cost anything. Because admittedly, I've never seen like Empoleon with Terra.
Yeah, it was free, so it makes sense to just give it. Why not? Infernape, I don't love this gen, but getting around 7 on this team is really nice. Like, it fits super well here. It does what the team needs. And he didn't have to pick it early, which is a big trap I think people fall in, just being like round 4 or 5 Infernape. It's not that good anymore. Yeah, I know.
Sad.
Great team. There's not too much to say about this. Zero, as always, well, as usual, has done a very, very good draft. And, like, I'm sure he'll perform as well as he always does. Like, this draft is crazy.
I just love this draft. This is a draft I absolutely see myself having. Like it's just really good. It has the defensive cores. It has just really fantastic offense. Oink was 1 point, by the
Oink
way.
was a 1-pointer because it's dog shit.
Oh, might be fake, but hey, it thick fat curses. It can do it can do a little something.
I
mean,
did not know
that's
what Oink
literally
does.
me just basing my knowledge of Oink off of Ranbats, since that's like the
that's
one thing
more
that does
knowledge than I
Ranbats.
had.
Fair enough.
Great team. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This team's broken. Like, it's one of the best teams I've seen in a very long time. And yeah, I love this. I wish I could use it. It looks so fun. Oh my god.
It is broken.
Mini
I would
Aggro
not
is
want
less
to
aura than Lechonk. My goat Amel out here sweeping people with getting like 3 kills with Lechonk on Wi-Fi was amazing. My goat. Also, that game between was whoever that guy was versus Ozma in the smoke gun thing. But yeah, this is just an insane team. Not much else to say. And I guess that kind of wraps up Burning Bulwark for us. So I'm gonna thank you, Croc, for joining for Burning Bulwark. This was fun.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take a sec. Yeah, Dira, that was so funny. That was so funny. That was
That's
so
why he's
good.
going.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a quick restroom break, and I'm gonna get Ricky in here to do Psyblade. So we'll be back in a moment. I'll be back in a moment. And now ping Psyblade. Okay, I am back. Let me get Ricky in here. 1 second. I pinged Ricky, so he should join soon. Let me get I'm gonna ping Psyblade. Yep. I have pings over. Hey Doja, I'm not gonna say your real name, even though because everyone in BPL knows mine. But I'm not gonna say your real name. But hi, how are you tonight, man? Yeah, so we might be going a few minutes. Ricky say he might not have time until he might not be here till like 8:30, so we might have a few minutes. But hope you all are having a good night tonight. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I'm doing pretty good, thank you. Frosty, you got a ping. Who the fuck do you think pinged you? Let's see. Yep. 1 second. Yeah, good. Yep. Yeah, I'm saying. Okay, let me Yeah, one second. Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah, sorry for the dead air for a bit. We're just waiting for. I told him 8:30, so it might be a. We got through Burning Bulwark a lot faster. Well, not a lot, but a bit faster than we got through Thunderclap. So, go wait until Risky joins, but hope everyone's having a good night so far. And we'll move on to our last division of the night soon. BPL admin Soul Link. Wait, what just happened?
What's up, Endless?
Oh, hey, there you are. Hey, Risky's here, perfect. Hey, everyone. Let me know if Risky's volume is good. Is volume his sound quality? If not, I can make adjustments. If you just talk a bit so they can hear your sound quality.
Hello, my Pokemon trainers. What is good? What are you guys up to? How are you guys doing? Can you hear me? Hopefully, yes.
Yeah. 1 second. Let me see the chat is.
How's that?
I said your sound seems pretty good so far. If just let us know here if we need to adjust it. Okay, so we are here for Psyblade now. Why don't we just hop right into it?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we start with number 16, which is Lord of the Acorn, who I had at the very bottom. Ricky had pretty low at 13th. Why don't you go into this one first?
All right, for sure. Lord of the Acorn. Let me pull up my notes real quick.
Yeah, all good.
Alrighty. Okay, so I put up for him, or for them. I put for pros, I put that they have good wish support and momentum. They're very versatile with Dragapult, and they have a good amount of mixed attackers.
That's true.
And they have like a good amount of mons that can do different roles. But I put for like myself personally, I feel like their physical defense really relies on Aloe and Gambit and kind of Silvally, and their removal is kind of not great. So overall, I just feel like it doesn't hit as hard. And the defense is a bit lackluster.
Yeah, I just had a lot of issues with the team. First problem is the Terra captains. Like, Lord Acorn hasn't played since mid Gen 8, so I think he did not know that Manectric doesn't get Terra Blast. But that kind of makes it really bad as a Terra. Oh, really, Robo?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't like this thing at all, to be honest. Well, also welcome. But no ground, obviously, that's like one of the fundamental types in my opinion. I don't think type charge is that important, but I do think it's pretty important here because like your electric immunity is a Manectric, which is not like a real Mon. Ground immunity, obviously you don't have that either. Outside, I guess like Delibird, which doesn't count. Yeah, electric is a gigantic
especially
issue.
with like
no spikes outside Delibird, which again isn't coming. And no fair resist, so Valiant and Enamorous 6-0 this team on lead, which is not a great decision to do. But yeah, I just think
I definitely agree with that. What was that?
I just think this team needs a lot of roots, and
that.
honestly, I don't know how you'd fix an FA. This is a really rough one.
I mean, personally, I'd start with switching some of the Terra captains. Like,
for sure.
Manectric, yes, it is fun, but I feel like just leaving it as is fine enough.
Well, Manectric doesn't get Terra Blast, so I'm not sure what he's doing anyway. I would give the Terra to Moaletta, probably is about the best Terra Mon on this team right now.
I would agree. Even Cleaver, like, I feel like it's fine with Bug Rock. It wouldn't really want to tear into anything unless it just wants pure stab. And like your ground resist is literally just Alamomola, which sucks when you're like one of your top mons.
It doesn't even technically resist, so like, I mean, it takes them pretty well, but still.
Yeah, it's not gonna, I don't see often where you would switch like mons in, and it gets worn down pretty like easily. You know?
Yeah, I just don't think this team is very good. And I think there might be ways to fix it. You definitely need to get rid of Quivor. I think you can get rid of Manectric, and also I'd probably drop Quivor. I don't respect Quivor much at all, but that's just me. I just think you should access Manectric and get something else. I don't know. It's kind of hard. The team just feels really underwhelming, too, outside of, like, the Polt. Yeah, I guess the Gambit. Yeah, steals are really
I
annoying
agree.
outside of Ape. I do agree on that, Grim.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It seems like it's just there's a lot of good pieces, I want to say, but they're not. It doesn't synergize really well.
Yeah,
in
there's
my
good
personal
pieces,
opinion.
but no good Terra's really bad, and it's just a lot of things. Yeah, main shouldn't be coming any week because it doesn't get Terra Blast.
Yeah, and it just feels like it's going to be very difficult to build with this team in general too. You know,
Yeah,
like
I
it feels
definitely.
like everything's going to want to. You know, what was
Yeah,
that?
so and like I'm using Polt Gambit in our league, and I didn't do super well, but I also has PX. But point is, like, I think this team is. It's not the worst team I've ever seen, but it's pretty bad. Yeah. Sorry, Acorn. I like you, man, but it's just is not it. Hey,
I agree. Yeah, no,
yeah,
it,
let's
it
move.
it could do a better job of supporting Polt if that's what you want to go for.
Yeah,
And Polt Gambit, it seems like an okay like core, but every other piece after that, after Gambit, I want to say it's just very
man.
Meloetta maybe, but yeah,
Yeah.
not a huge fan.
Yeah, let's get on to number 15 then. We have Dojan at 15. I'm sorry, my friend, but we both put this team pretty low. So I guess, which, if you know me, you're going to know this pained me because these are a lot of my favorite draft mons. Like, that top 5 are 5 Endless Gadget staples. Especially Mega DNC Chomp Steel is one of my favorite copium cores of all time. If you actually get it, it's insane. I know, the Mon's quality is good, but I guess my first problem was that I don't like Terra Gyarados. I don't think it's very good, especially the solo Terra. And I think this team is going to be really reliant on it, which isn't great. Also, you're getting rocks on Chomp or DNC every week, which they can fade, but they don't always want to. I don't know, like, it's a good team. Like, even though I had it really well, I still like this team. I mean, I'm biased because these are some of my favorite draft mons. I think the team is fine. It just feels not that amazing. I don't know how to explain it. Just something felt off to me. I'm not sure what. I think the Gara had a big impact on how I brought down the team for me a lot.
We're looking at Doge, right?
Yeah, Dojan.
Oh, Dojan. Okay, I was looking at Doge like
No, that's what
the
it's similar.
I was like, what? No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, if you want to finish saying your
Oh,
thoughts
yeah, that's
on
about
that.
it for me. Like, it's some of my favorite mons. I think some of them work together, but the bottom 4 kind of fall apart for me.
You know, I personally I put down because I've actually used this core before. Mega DNC, Garchomp,
I
Celesteela,
have
and
too.
I
Yeah,
went
I love this core.
undefeated until finals.
It's
What was
such a
that?
good core. I've used it as well. It's so fun to use.
Definitely agreeing. Like I said, like I I was in like a league and it wasn't this one, but it was a different one. And just with that core, I was just making it to finals, and I only lost because of hacks at the finals. But
Yeah.
I feel like afterwards, it doesn't do a good job of supporting the top mons because there's a lack of removal. It's basically just Rotom Wash. There's not really any momentum. And like basically with this team, you want to be able to switch in these mons and get them in so they can start breaking things because the breaking power is amazing,
Yeah.
but the support that the top mons have is just not that great, and it also gets worn down really easily. Like there's not really any real recovery, and in a lot like before DNC Mega Evolves, if you're able to get up like hazards, this team is gonna be struggling a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. Gareth, I don't know why you're saying Splaps is only ground switching when Gyarados and Celesteela are there and Zygarde wasn't drafted, so like a regular ground resist doesn't really matter. Also, High Croak. Yeah. Like, I don't think that's like. I don't think a grounds is that important team because Zygarde wasn't drafted in this division anyway. So that's just me. But I like this team. Like, even though I play 15, I do generally like this team. I just think it could have been done better. It's kind of way, but it does have a lot of my favorite mons. I mean, Gravity, sure, but what Gravity mons exist? Lando? I guess just Lando, but you just Ice Shard or Weavile to revenge them. Like, that's the only real Gravity ground type. So I think you're fine. Like, you just send in Weavile after revenge them.
Played
like,
all.
you have to sack one, which is annoying, but they're also having to waste a turn setting up Gravity and then Quick Earthquake. I don't know, I just don't think it's great. I don't think that's really that much of a problem.
Yeah, no. And personally, I really like the way it looks, but it's just when you look at it a little too deeply, or like it kind of look at the movesets, it kind of falls apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know. I think yeah. I don't know, maybe like the bottom 3, maybe even bottom 4, Gyarados, Salazzle, Type Null, Spidops, maybe you can switch them around for something else.
I don't hate Type Null, by the way.
What was that?
I don't hate Type Null, but yeah, it's not great.
I mean, I feel like in terms of bulk, it's like really, really good. But it tends to do the same thing every time it comes.
That's true.
At least from what I've seen. But yeah, it just amazing top 3, top 4, Weavile even. But
it just, yeah, and those 5 can win games on their own for sure. That core of 5, so we'll see.
Yeah, it just Dojan would have to be like on top. Like as soon as he loses the lead, I feel
he needs
it.
This team
would be
has
very
trouble clawing
difficult
back
to come
into
back.
the game for sure.
But yeah. I guess we should move on.
Yeah, let's go to number 14, which is Cowboy, who we both had at 12, and the fact that we both had at 12 and 14 should tell you a bit about how these rankings went. But this is it's a solid team, like mostly good mons. Iron Valiant, I actually really like Valiant Sand as a concept. I think it's a really good idea. I like the team. No spikes was a bit annoying for me. It was Valiant or like spikes to wear down bulky poisons.
Go ahead.
That's kind of one of the big ones. Also, I feel like this team's gonna have trouble getting against breakers because there's like so little momentum outside Kilowattrel. So like getting in Valiant and Drill is gonna be really hard, and neither of them wants to be hard switching on stuff repeatedly. So I don't know. Outside that, like I do like this thing. It looks really fun to use, but I just think it's gonna be hard to get your offense in, which is gonna make it difficult. That's about it. Like, other than that, it's a good team.
Yeah. Personally, I was actually, when I drafted Valiant myself, I was actually considering doing some kind of sand core because I kind of like the idea of putting Excadrill on the team. But I do have to agree with what you said. There's not really any momentum, and Valiant and Excadrill, they're not. Yeah, Excadrill has a high HP stat, but they're not the bulkiest things. Yeah. They want to be able to set up or hit hard without taking too much damage, or else they get worn out. And I also feel like there's not a lot of support from the bottom mons. Like there's Licky Licky and there's Toxapex, yes, and Latias. But if you want to put Latias in that role, I feel like that's kind of not doing it justice to purely have it as support. But I feel like the hyper offense pressure is amazing. Like it hits so hard, especially like Terra Kilowattrel. It's gonna be hitting really, really hard. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe Entei could have been a Terra. I would have liked that too instead of Excadrill.
I would Terra actually. I think Entei would be a better Terra than Kilowattrel.
I see that. That's fair too. But yeah, I just feel like if this team had a better momentum into it, just like you turning around, because I counted like.
So what was that? In chat, Entei was 15 a Terra. Let me look. 1 second. Let me take a look. It might have been because of black propaganda. That's probably what happened.
Oh, I see.
Entei was. Why was this thing 15 to Terra? Okay, we definitely got 2 black build and made 50. It's not. That's way too much, yeah, but fair enough then.
Yikes! Yeah, no, that is a lot. But yeah, I feel like in prep, your opponent for this team is gonna have a major issue because they have to prep for Sand as well as Valiant, as well as Latias, and then Entei in the background. Just kind of, it seems like it's a lot. So you're gonna have to be running like either defensive stuff that can take all this, or your opponent is gonna have to just outpower you.
Yeah, that's fair, Cowboy. Yeah, 6-point tax on Entei is a lot, so that's fair. Yeah, I know it's like a good team. I just think it doesn't have as cohesive as a game plan as I would have liked.
I agree. But overall, I like the team too.
Yeah, I think it looks fun to use for sure. Hey, what's
cool?
On number 13, we have Cross, who I had towards the middle and you had towards the bottom. So I guess let's see. Yes, I'll go into why I really like this. I like this team quite a bit first. Honestly, I don't know. Meow Torn Zera is a really good core to start off with. Bro, to get. Oh, I know the one problem I really was the team was lack of breakers. But it's like really good utility mons, really good offensive pieces, but they're kind of all cleaners is the main issue. Yeah, these are just good teams. I mean, good mons. I say Phalanx. Phalanx is shit, and I will not hear otherwise. Phalanx is shit. But my only issue with this team is why did you pick Phalanx when you had 3 points left over? You could like a usable fighting for 4 points. And yeah, it would be nice. There's a way of an exploitable speed gap between Torn and Tank, but I don't think it's that big a deal. I know I really like this team. I'm surprised. I probably put it higher, but I guess not. 8 fights where I ended up with it. But yeah, I really like this team. I think it's insane. What are your thoughts on this?
Personally, I really have to agree with you on the offensive breaking power just right off the bat. That was one of my biggest cons on it. It just feels like it doesn't hit super hard. Yes, there's Meowscarada, but if its coverage protein isn't hitting super effectively, it's not going to hit super hard. And yeah, you can always set up. There's a lot of setup potential with these mons, but you have to set up first in order to hit hard. And I also actually really like that the top 3, they're very fast, big threats. And it has good physical bulk, but it also feels a little lacking on the special side. So if they hit you on that side, it's gonna be a little rough.
Yeah, I can see
and that. The removal is kind of reliant on Donphan and Torn. And yeah, it just feels like it's so reliant on it's a items and setup moves in order to hit hard and be able to knock stuff out. And in our current meta with how big offense is, it kind of pales in comparison, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
But
sure.
I do really love a lot of the pieces though. I love the Dunsparce. I've been liking Tinkaton. Donphan is a great mon. But it just feels it just doesn't hit super hard for me. So I ranked it kind of low.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping for a sweep.
Yeah, I think. I understand. It's lacking breaking power is the one thing, but I think the team itself is pretty good. Yep, not much else.
It does have really good longevity.
Yeah, it's just a pretty simple one, I guess. Team does what it does.
True.
Also, I don't know if I'd say it lacks longevity with Slack Off, Slowbro, Regen, Torn, Roost, Dunsparce. I think it's fine in that regard.
Oh, no. I said I like the longevity.
Oh, I misheard. Yeah. It does. It is able to play a long game very well. My bad.
No, you're good. My bad.
Yep. Hey, let's move on to number 12. We have Sep, who I had down at 14 and you had up at 7. So why don't you go into why you like this team so much?
All right, Sep. Let me pull you up. Alrighty, so for Sep, I put that it has great special pressure and Palafin just by itself is a great physical pressure, and I love the support mons that it has. I feel like the support, the hazards, the removal of this team is really great. The only thing I kind of say that it's a little frail, which is funny to say because there's a Clefable there, but the support mons at the bottom, like Zatu, Volby,
Welcome,
Clefable, I
Crush.
want to say it's not super great at being defensive. So I feel like this team kind of can drop pretty quickly, like its mons,
Yeah, I can see that.
in a battle, but it does hit harder than most other teams, and it's like scary to go up against.
Yeah, it's very. I don't know. I really didn't like this one. First off the bat, I think the Terras are kind of mid. Like, Torterra's fine with Shell Smash, Final's fine, but neither of them is really that crazy to me. I would have had a high tier one, maybe one of them. Especially because they both kind of function the same with like DD or Shell Smash and just king ground moves. Also, the team is slow as molasses. Oh my god. Like, you have no elite speed. You have like some mons over 100. You have no elite speed. And then your fastest mod is 115, but it can't run Scarf. Which is really like not ideal at all. That's kind of the first. Oh, wait, one second. Oh, that was the first thing. That's kind of the big one for the speed. That's a huge issue. Bolt Mew is kind of a problem since both of your grounds are 4 times weak to ice. And obviously you can't tear both of them in one game. And a Ghost Star, a gigantic issue because Houndoom, after it takes the rocks and spikes, he just dies to like pretty well. Jet Punch is good for speed, yeah, but like it doesn't have a bunch of things can Terra into types that resist water, so it doesn't really do much. I don't know, this team is kind of underwhelming. Nothing outside the Palm is like, oh shit, how the hell do I deal with it in prep? I do like Gumara Goldango. That's a classic core for a reason. It's very good. I don't know, this team felt kind of weird to me. It felt really underwhelming, and the lack of speed was really a big issue.
Yeah, no, I definitely have to agree with the speed one. It's I don't know, 115 being your fastest, and it's a mega. It's not the greatest
Like,
because
if you could scarf
anything like
Mega Houndoom, I would not be as harping on the speed point. Team does have a lot of T-Wave support though, which is nice with like a Volbeat, Fundy, Golden Go, Clef, so that helps a bit.
Oh, I also put down I didn't like how this team like it doesn't really have a physical presence really until Palafin switches mode.
I mean, you have Torterra and Flygon.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like Torterra might not come every game, and Flygon.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna come every
like,
game, of course. Yeah, I do agree with you generally on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, the team's okay. I think Sep can make it work. I think Palafin is really the mon that defines how well this team will do. If Palafin does well, this team does well. If Palafin does poorly, this team does poorly. I think is just how I kind of view it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But it does support Palafin really well, so we'll see how it does.
Oh yeah, no, totally. Especially with like Volby and Zatu, like I feel like those mons providing good support with like T-Wave and other shenanigans to kind of cripple the opponent. Clefable also stopping anything that might want to hurt it. What was that?
No, sorry, I sneezed. That's all.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. But yeah.
Yeah, let's I guess move on to live report Dojo. Yeah, I saw I made some trades. I'm not gonna live react to them. I keep anyway. Number 11, we have Ninjat, who you had at 6 and I had down at 15. Why don't you go into why you like this team so much?
Me personally, I really love the way this team looks. I wish I could have ranked it higher, but it was one of those teams we were kind of talking beforehand where I kind of used a rubric.
I mean, I did too.
To rank.
I also used one to help me think about. So.
But I don't know. I just really like the idea of like gouging fire and annihilate like Ursaluna blood. It's very top heavy.
The top 7 is really good for sure.
Yeah. Wait, did you say that you don't respect Sneasel, right?
No, this mine is terrible. It's his only Terra captain too. Like, why? That was my biggest issue of the team, was the lack of any Terra. And yes, I know a bunch of these mods are Terra banned, but just Terra the Ape. Like, come on. Like, Terra, obviously Blood Moon, Gouging are Terra banned, Cartana, Iron Bones Terra banned. Like, come on, you could Terra that out with the Cartana. Don't like Copium, Grad, Hisui, and Sneasel. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I know, like,
I feel like maybe you could. Go ahead.
oh, sorry. I like the top 7's insane. He will win games off the top 7. I just feel like the team itself is not good, and there's a lot of holes in that top 7. Like, no priority outside the Blood Moon Vacuum Wave, no spikes. You have some really bad type uses like Dark, Ice, Water, and your Fairs is a Kartana, Lamau, as I put it on the doc. I don't. I think this top 7 will out offense a lot of teams. I just think there's some very rough flaws with it. I think the Terra is doing Sneasel is a fucking joke, but and I don't know. I think the team's good. I probably should put it higher. Like, the top 7's going to win games, especially in this division, but I just feel like it could have been done so much better. That I think there was so much more potential. That's kind of the big thing for me.
No, definitely. It has a lot of all-stars, which I guess that's one of the reasons why, like, for me, like, when I look at it, I'm like, ooh, like, this is... Because I've used, like, Ape, and I'm using Gouging and Blood Moon, and I love setup, and so I see those as potential. And also, I feel like...
Don't get me wrong. The offense is fucking bonkers here. There's no way around it.
But I do agree with you, like, with... The more you look at this team, the more you realize that it kind of... It feels like you throw a mon out and it goes and then it dies, and then you throw another mon out and then it just, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it doesn't.
The pivots are Ape and like Screamtail, yeah. I guess Blood Moon to an extent. I mean, I don't know. I think this team will win games because players won't be prepared to deal with the top 7. But I think if people can exploit the weaknesses, its team will go down hard.
Yeah. Especially, like, it feels very especially weak, and also, like, everything is very fast with this team as well. So I feel like any Trick Room, like Trick Room DNC would kind of go crazy on this team.
But I mean, Blood Moon is pretty low, so. But I do agree. The top 7. I don't think Corv over Carson. I don't care how bad a team is. I would never swap Cart for Corv, Graham. But anyway, I don't know. Like, I definitely put it too low, but it just really irked me that Terra doing Sneasel. And like, just, I don't know. I probably should put it higher in hindsight, but eh.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't really have opinions too much on Sneasel. I haven't used it. I haven't really.
I have not seen it, and if it's, I don't think it's very good because I haven't seen it. So, and I think if it was good, I would have seen it by now in like 2.5 years into Gen 9.
Oh, also, if your Mega is Mega Aerodactyl and your removal is Morpeko, that's kind of...
And Gouging will have to run boots a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with this type of team, you don't want it to run boots all the time, you know?
And Bundle wants to run specs here, yeah. I don't know. I think this team will be able to put enough pressure opponents can't get rocks up that easily, so yeah. I think this team's like pretty solid. Just the lack of a Terramon is really rough to me.
That's fair. I do agree. I feel like Ape would make the better Terramon.
Yeah.
But
his way is. Let's get on to number 10 then.
Cool.
Number 10, we have Decky, who I had 7th and you had at 11th. So I guess I'll go first on this one. I really like this team. Like, obviously, it's another Deoxys team, as we've learned tonight. I really like Deoxys. But I think everything else on it is really good. Like, Terra Cornerstone hits really damn hard. Rapid breaks the rock resist like nothing else as the Dio. This team supports it really well. I think all the mons are pretty good. Like, good hazards, good removal. I don't know, like, good utility pieces, like Whimsicott and Psyblade for that anti-cheese factor, which I think is really important in Gen 9. I really like it. I do think Claydol's a bit of an mon, but I think it works. Glycopod's kind of weird. I don't like Glycopod on this team.
I'm sorry, you cut off a little bit there. What was that?
I think Claydol is a bad mon, but I think it works here. Yeah. Can y'all still hear me? One second.
Hello. Sorry, just like went silent for a little bit.
It's like, one second. Can you guys still hear me? Let me make sure. Okay, cool. Sorry, I think something happened. Anyway, alright. But yeah, outside, there's no Ghost Assist too, but I think the team will be okay into them, like Sucker or Save or whatever, or just faster shit. Yes, we you don't need to keep saying yes. We're fine. So yeah, I don't know. I think the team's pretty good. I don't see that many flaws with it. I guess I could maybe put a little higher or a little lower, but I think it's a pretty good middle of the pack team. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I put down that I actually think this team is really well balanced. It has like good speed, good min speed, good support, good like breaking as both the physical and special side. It feels really well rounded to me. I just feel like maybe it could use a little bit more, I guess, like longevity. I mean, I guess there's the Oxy speed if you are running it like defensively, can like do recover.
I mean, you can run
horn leech
recover
on
even on
horn.
offensive sets because it forces so many switches.
True.
Yeah.
I guess just for me, it felt like that, but I do really like that. Even the Galissapod, like I actually kind of like it on the team, like providing like that spike support as well as like being pretty bulky and first impression. Just
It's not a bad fit here, yeah.
no, like you said, I feel like it works really well like in the middle of the pack. I just feel like maybe some other teams
Are a bit better.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
This team's very functional. Like I'm sure that can make it work. It's a good team. It's a good team.
It is. It is
just
definitely
doesn't blow me away like some of the others do. It's solid. It's in the middle for a reason.
Agree.
Okay, yeah, how much else to say on this one? Moving on to number 9, which is Pyro, and this is the funny one, where I love this team and Ricky hates this team. Lantern, we are on Psyblade, and here's the really funny one. So, I don't think we've ever had disparity this big in all our seasons of doing PRs for BPL, but here we are. So let's go into this. I love this team. I think the top 7 are insane. Terry and Amherst is broken as fuck. I think Megalopony pairs with it really well. I think no Lantern Hydro Steam will be on Friday. So we've got I just think every mine is really good. I think the team works really well. I think it has what it needs to function. Good hazards, good removal, good speed, good utility, good pivots. Yes, it is real. I just didn't see anything wrong with his team, and I think it looks really fun and really strong. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I actually do like the way this team looks. Like Megalopony is one of my favorite megas because it hits so hard and it's so fun to use. And this team looks like it's a very fun team to use. I guess the pros I put for it was that it had like good breakers, it was fast and strong, and the priority is really great on this team too. It just feels like a really tight-knit squad. Like they were like really, like everybody has their role and everybody functions well in their role, and they can even move out of their role. But I guess it just felt like some mons were kind of forced into certain roles.
I can see that, yeah.
And I feel like I guess it just feels like it does get a bit worn down over time.
Sorry, you're stacking really badly. One second, sorry.
Like that, but
one second. You're stacking really badly.
I'm not sure.
Shit.
Just felt like.
One second. Goddamn, my computer's lagging so bad.
Like yes, there's Rotom Heat. There's Demon and there's Goodra that hit good specially.
For like the last 45 seconds. You were just stacking for the last 45 seconds.
Oh, was I?
That's my end. My computer is fucked.
Yikes.
You're good. It's fine. That's
no, I'm using my phone right now because my computer's all good.
It's not.
I was just saying that it just feels. No, you're good, man. Don't worry about it.
As you were saying.
it honestly is not a bad team at all. Like me personally, I actually really like the team as a team. I guess for me, I just ranked it low just due to I guess I just felt like it could use a little bit more removal support.
That's fair.
But for Inam, because I feel like an issue with Inam is that it does get worn down by hazards, particular stealth rocks. I feel like whenever I see people use Inam, that's something that they have to combat with a lot.
Fair, yeah. I mean, I think Terracro's an amazing spinner personally.
But it is. It just feels like I don't know. I guess I personally just felt like something was missing for this team. It just felt like everything was very tight knit and forced into like certain roles.
That's fair.
Like,
I think the Mons
I guess
are
the
good at
versatility
roles,
of
but I
it.
can see what you're saying. The Mons are a bit linear in some ways. Seriously.
Yeah. But overall, I do really like the team. Like everything does what it's supposed to do, and it does it well. Like all of them excel in what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, what is happening to yours? Lantern. It's but sorry about the stack, everyone. My computer lags really fucking badly sometimes, and when it does, someone doesn't call while I'm recording. It's really stacky. I'm so sorry, but with that, let's move on to our top half. Number 8, we have Jace. So you had up at 4th, and I had down 11th. So why don't you go into why you like this team so much?
All right. You said JT's,
Jace.
right?
Jace.
Cool.
People need to stop having
Jace.
similar names.
No, it's all good. There's so many people. Actually, I really love how big the server has been growing. By the way,
No,
in
I
general.
love that. I'm making a joke about us getting confused because people's names are similar.
Oh yeah, no, I feel like we've been doing that like most of this call.
This is fine though, yeah. So why don't you go into what you like about Jace so much?
Yeah, I do like Jace's. I do like the support that it has for Greninja. And I feel like especially it hits really hard. Like it hits like a truck, especially with Zoroark, Greninja, Slowking, and Zapdos. I guess for me, and it also feels like a very versatile team. Like Greninja, it can do so much, and
Greninja
I
can
feel
do
like
everything,
Slowking, it really can. Yeah, it just feels like literally all the mons that it has such, it can fit so many different roles. It doesn't have to be like one thing. And I don't know. I personally really like Bronzong and Hitmontop, and I'm glad that like they work well in this team too to like support Greninja, because I guess for me the main issue with it is that the only real physical breaker or
Backs.
fighter is Excalibur. Yeah. And Gren can also be physical, and so can Swampert, but
And Zoro. Zoro gets
feel,
still has like good attack and poltergeist and stuff.
yeah, true. And also I felt like the speed tier was really awkward too.
I can see that, yeah.
It kind of jumps down after like goes from like Gren to Zoroark to Zapdos, and then it just drops.
Yeah, sorry.
And there's a big. What was that?
No, sorry. I was just saying, for the record, I do like this team, so I had it down 11th. But there's a speed drop. Yeah, that's fair. I know I like this team. I feel like it's kind of like a 6-mon team though, and by that I mean the top 5 plus Bronzong, because I don't think Zoroark is that great. No Encore is another thing for me. I know I bring it up a lot, but I think it's really important this gen, especially with a team like this that doesn't have the greatest responses to cheese BS. I don't know. I think this team is good though. I don't think this team is good. I don't disagree on that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off and all that, but
No, you're good. I agree with everything you said. Like Encore, I feel like is really big as well this gen. I feel like I used to not use it in other generations, but I feel like with this one, I feel like you have to have something in order to like hinder your opponent, or else you're just gonna get swept.
yeah, for sure. This gen there's so much cheese this gen. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never noticed like water is kind of an issue. Like you can break them, but switching into waters is tough. Like Paladin Quicking Wave Crash is have fun with that and stuff like that. Sarah, I don't know. I think the team's good. I just don't love it.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. On to number 7. We have Kruosh. We both had pretty much in the middle. I guess I can go first on this one. So I do like this team a lot. I think the mons themselves are very good. Every mon here is like solid. Is Glycer's the only real hazard type, which is not ideal, but also like it's really good at setting hazards. So it's probably fine. It does limit its ability to run offensive sets, but not the end of the world. The other one for me is like I don't know. I don't love the Terras. I get Terra Dirge, give it Terra Poltergeist. I don't think that mon's great. I wish something like Shifu was given the Terra or Melmetal. But overall, it seems pretty good. It feels a little underwhelming to me, but I like it. You know, all the mons are solid in their own right. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to evaluate this one.
Yeah, no, I did have difficulty with this one too because there is a lot I like about it. I do like that it has a lot of setup potential. Like even like your bulky mons like Dirge and Superior, I feel like those ones like they can start once they get the ball rolling. It's pretty good, and I personally really like Terra Skeledirge. As I personally used it, it's really good. And if you just want to tear it into a fairy type and run that, it's really good as well. Um, I feel like the lack of hazards, it is really dependent on Gliscor, and I feel like I don't know. I do really like Gliscor, and I feel like it does a good job of setting hazards, but it kind of limits what else it can do because I feel like Gliscor can do so much, and it feels a bit dependent on Ninetales running Aurora Veil,
Oh yeah, this
and
is
it feels a
definitely
bit
a Veil team for sure.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
I don't really like Poltergeist outside of terrain. Like I think Psychic Terrain is the one archetype Poltergeist works on because it's so susceptible to priority once it goes like -2 defense from like weak armor shell smash. I know I don't like it on here.
So I guess for me, when I saw Poltergeist, I was just I don't know. It didn't. I get why you would draft it, but it just feels really. I don't know.
Out of
I'm not a
place.
huge fan. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely feels out of place. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, overall, like
And like
draft is
if that.
solid.
No, I
I
agree. I agree. I agree. It is solid. It just feels like I don't know. It feels like
a
it's very
little
also like
underwhelming in
special.
some regards.
Like Enam, I feel like goes crazy against this team.
Oh yeah, Enam fucks this team. I mean, I guess AV Melmetal helps, but still, yeah. Valiant also goes insane here, especially after Dirge Terras. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's probably a Terra Poison though, but yeah, solid team overall.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It it hits really hard. I do like a lot of the pieces. It just feels like it could. I feel like it could be buffed up in some
Yeah, it
areas.
could be improved. Like, there's definitely some ways this team could be better. Also, it's
But yeah,
really defensive for Gen 9, I'm not going to lie. This team does not feel like it has the offense you need in Gen 9. Like, what a Shifu, Melmel, Serp, Pidge doesn't feel like enough to me. But I don't know.
no, I definitely agree with you. I don't know for my rankings for like the offense, like physically it hits pretty well, but I just feel like it needs to rely on setup also, aside from like Pidgeot
I mean,
to like
Melmetal.
really.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But yeah,
I know, like, it's a solid team. Yeah, Urshifu is really carrying this team. I do agree, Grim. Hey, let's move on. Number 6, which is Robopup, who I had up at 4 if you had not temp. So I'll go into this one. I really like this team. I really, really like this team. Great offensive pieces. Every mon here is good except Kamala. And Machamp's not great, but like mostly good Mons. Solid offense with Bolt, Wellspring, Cinderace. Good support piece, Tinglu, Petron. Actually, like Forge's Orform as a core, I think they work really well together. Even though I don't know if you all bring both very often, but they do work really well together. My one issue is like outside Cinderace, it feels pretty slow since Wellspring can't run Scarf. But like the Terramons are crazy, and even though like yes, both want the Terra really badly, I still think it's workable if you don't Terra one of them each game. I think it's fine. As many teams really good, I don't know. I just really like this team. I didn't see many things I disliked about it. Why do you have this middle of the pack? What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. It's a very bulky team. Like it's a really good bulky offensive team, and has good setup potential as well. I guess for me, if I have to agree, I felt rather like it felt really slow, apart from like the priority that it gets, and I feel like this team could appreciate a little bit more hazards and removal because, like you said, I feel like Kamala's not really gonna come too often. But I do really like the team as a whole, and I'm actually kind of glad to see up because I feel like it's not used as often. But it works as a really good breaker.
Gotcha. I agree on that.
But yeah, I do feel like against teams that are a lot faster, this team is gonna struggle a bit. To kind of like it has to take the hits and then it has to deal it back or wear it down. And I feel like if the weaknesses of this team can be exploited, it will be. But I do also really love the Terra captains, like Bolt and Wellspring. Like they're both amazing, and they both don't need to Terra either.
Yeah, that's true. They both can function without it, which is really important.
Yeah. And also, it feels like if you're coming at this team, you got to be prepared to hit it so hard because otherwise you're not breaking it. Like Tinglu, Pecharunt, Florges, Orthworm, like that's a crazy defensive core.
And this is a really bulky team, but the fight was like because the two Terras hit so insanely hard, and Cinderace is pretty hard too. It doesn't feel passive. Like despite clearly being a more balanced team, it feels like it can make progress offensively consistently, which is something I feel a lot of balanced teams don't deal with. Don't consistently do that effectively. So yeah, I don't know. I think this team's pretty good. I do remember Winter 2 max point Terras is a bit odd, but I think it does work here because all the pieces he got below it have functionality and serve a good role. And he kind of felt everything he needed to in those picks. I think this was a very well done draft for having 2 max Terras. That's my opinion on that, at least.
No, I agree. I can definitely tell that RoboPup
Oh, she. Sorry, I've been saying she. I'm sorry. Sorry, Robo.
She. I can see that RoboPup. She really she knew her game plan. Like, I'm gonna choose these two top heavy mons, and she was able to create a team around it that supported it really, really well. And it's hard to break this team, like Pecharunt, Tinglu, and even if they're not passive, like you said, like Tinglu can whirlwind you out, and 110 attack is nothing to laugh at. And Pecharunt, it sets up a nasty plot, or it poisons and confuses you, and you're kind of done.
Yeah.
I feel like the only real one that you can potentially kind of set up on is probably Orthworm or Florges. But even then, I feel like it's so easy to switch out of mods with this team that you don't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah, I just think this team's really good. I expect Robo's to have a great season. I really do.
Me too.
Okay, let's get on to our top 5. First up, we have Doge right at 3rd. You at 9th, so I'll go into why I really like this team. I mean, honestly, I'm a big terrain believer. I've always been a big terrain believer for Rillaboom. I think Rillaboom Great Tusk is a really cool pairing. Every mon here feels great. Like Terramoth is crazy. Terramoth Great Tusk is an insane wheel, by the way. He was 16th pick. Terramoth Great Tusk is an absurd wheel. Rillaboom Premier both good. We've discussed Iron Crown earlier today. It seems pretty solid on here. Manectric is really good for getting in your breakers and just pivoting, good elite speed. I really like the team. Good hazards. Tusk and Miltank are both like solid rockers. Obviously, Miltank doesn't want to come every game, but he can come pretty frequently. Sorry, it does come pretty frequently. I don't know. It just seems really good. I didn't see many things. It's like I wish I had spike support from off, but other than that, like I really think this team is crazy. I think everyone's really good. Terra low kicks is a very solid sleeper threat. I feel like you're gonna want to tear him off most games anyway, but low kicks can like function without it. The low tier picks, Miltank and Driftbone are really solid for support. Just big fan of this team in general. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I will say when I was ranking these teams, since I kind of started with Doge near the top, I was a lot more, I guess, harsher than I was going lower down.
That's fair.
But I do agree that I really love this team. I'm a bit, unless you know, I'm a big Boomer lover.
Yeah.
As well as Primarina. I feel like those guys, I don't know, it feels like this team breaks so well. And I feel like the speed tiers are pretty nice as well, going 135 with Mega Manetric, then Moth 110. Maybe something else above the 100s. Even your bottom two, like Miltank and Driftblim, like they're amazing mons, and they exactly every mon here is a mon.
You
and
have
like
to prep for all 9 every game.
Exactly. Because like I feel like in other teams, like yeah, there are like you draft other mons for like a reason or like it's there, but like I don't know. I don't know about you, but sometimes I look at a team and I'm like I look at the bottom and sometimes I'm just like I don't even have to think about them. But with this team, you can't do that. You have to be ready for everything. And the fact that Doge got Iron Maw and Great Tusk like on a wheel, like that is crazy.
That's absurd. But yeah, it's just a really good team. Not much else to say. It's just really good. All 9 mons are great. This is how you do a 9 mon draft, right? Is how I would say it.
Yeah, even like the priority is really great. I guess I feel like for me, it just feels like maybe it could use maybe like better hazards. But even then, like Moth, Tusk, like they're good for setting hazards themselves.
Yeah, Tusk. I mean, Tusk is a fine rocker. I do wish there was a rocker outside, like another good rocker outside Miltank, but it's fine. Like it does what it needs to do.
Yeah, but other than that, I love this team. I really do.
Yeah, it looks so fun to use. I can't wait to see how Doge does with it.
All right, number 4.
Yeah, number 4, we have Polychode in his first ever draft. So the fact that he was 10th and 7th and ended up at number. Wait, did I screw this up? 1 second. I think I screwed this up. Did I? I forgot to move him, didn't I? No. Oh wait. Oh, this should. 1 second. This should be. I was very. Oh wait, that's better. Ricky Boom at second. That's what I was very confused for a second there, but I forgot to type in the right thing. I am dumb, as we have learned with me having to manually edit these tonight. But anyway, so this is Polychode's first ever draft. Ricky, why don't you go into why you like this draft so much?
I really like how versatile this like draft is. It feels like it can do so much, and I'm kind of surprised this is Polychode's like first draft. Depending on how you use this team, it does have its standard sets for all the mons, but I feel like it can do so much more than that. So I'm not sure if Polychode has the experience to be able to do that. Now that you mentioned that,
I mean, well, but that certainly affects his ranking, though, of course. But yeah,
yeah. But other than that, if we look at just the team by itself, it's so good. Like Ogrepon as a Terra, I love it just because like immediate speed boost, and then you can run so many different items. I feel like it has good hazard support too, so it doesn't have.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to do a comment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it feels really good, like in terms of like removing hazards to support the top mons. setting up hazards. Like Hisuian Samurott is crazy. It's so bulky as well. Like it has good bulk on it. Um, with Clodsire, Cresselia, Duraludon, um, even Electivire, I feel like has a good role in this. Like taking all these electric attacks and switching in and breaking. Like it feels like it's a scary team to prep for.
That's fair.
And
Doge, I
I
do
guess
agree. Taunt. This team is kind of taunt bait within the a lot of the lower picks. In chat. Yeah, I know. I like the top 4, but I don't
I will say though,
like this too much.
What
What were
was
you
that?
saying? Sorry.
I was gonna say it just felt like the special side of it is a little mediocre.
Yeah, I mean Zard and
But
Ogerpon are fine breakers. Someone said no breakers in chat, but yeah.
I was just saying like special in terms of special breakers or special like
Yeah,
offense.
it's like
a little
Ramambi and like Duraludon, which isn't great. I'll be honest. I honestly almost put this team lower. I don't. There's just so many mons I think are frauds on here. Crest, Duraludon, Quadsire outside Ubers, Evire. I actually like Spiritomb. I don't think it's as good as it used to be. Like I think there's kind of a set 6 that are gonna come most games, which is like Ogerpon, Zard, Samurott, Scissor, Rabombi, Cyclezar. I feel like the other 5 just aren't coming that often. I don't know. I don't like it. I probably should have put it lower in my opinion, but I get what you like. It does feel like a very you team, I'm not gonna lie, but it just feels like if a player can get past the setup, they'll smash this team. But that's just me.
That is fair. That is fair.
Also, I feel like
And like you
Crest
said,
is
like
something that so many people take in their first draft. It's just very funny, but
I mean, I feel like when you're looking at like Mons and it's your first draft and you're considering like, oh, like I need something that can take a hit. Like Crest is probably something that you think about, but I feel like there's a lot of other Mons that work really well defensively and can. I mean, because we all know that Crest has a major issue
yeah.
with being taunted
Or Encore,
or
yeah, totally
toxic.
It's
And
very
then,
passive.
you know,
Like I think for his first draft it's not bad, but I don't love it. And I think it has to exploit a counterplay they might not have thought of in the moment. But I think you can definitely make it work for sure.
you know, I feel like it depends on on the user at this point. I'm surprised you said that. Well, I guess I feel like Duraludon is a bit of a fraud. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a huge fan of it. Um, Clodsire, on paper it looks good on this draft as support.
It seems like okay here. I don't like the Mon, but I think it's okay on this draft.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't think this
I guess
draft
something
is...
else I would have.
Oh, sorry.
What was that?
No,
I was just gonna say something. Oh no, you're good. I was gonna say I guess something else I would have liked to have seen is like a better bulky water. Like Hisuian Samurott is fine, but it feels like if you're fighting, yeah, fire and like even ice weak.
Ice is kind of annoying, yeah. Like I
especially
like
when
Samurai
like freeze
and
dry.
sets can work, but it definitely isn't a great Mon defensively.
No.
But
yeah,
I do wish Policho best of luck in his first ever draft league. I hope he does pretty good. I don't love the team, but if he can make it work, that would be awesome. Let's move on to our top 3. In third, we have Lou, who this is where we have a big difference. You had him all the way at first. I am in 9th, so why don't you go on to why you love this team so much?
Yeah, I'll talk about Lou. I actually really like this team. It's a team that I personally would want to use myself. It has a lot of good. I feel like it has good of everything. Like Chiyu can break, especially Mega Mawile physically. Terrapago's is great setup, and it also supports really well. Terra Sinistra, as we all know, can be very insane, especially in the right hands. I personally really love like Bully and Wheezing. Gligar does a good job of supporting with hazards and being like a bulky, annoying little pivot. Um, Zygarde, I guess for me, the main issue with this team is that aside from Mega Mawile, if you're trying to hit like physically, like
There's not much. Yeah.
speaking, it
There's Zygarde. I
yeah,
guess.
it's and then Zygarde is just really frail. So if you can out prioritize it, then it's gonna hurt. I do see it running like maybe like a Terra Extreme Speed set. That
That's
could be
probably its
something.
best set. Yeah. It was like Bandit with Terry Speed and Thousand Arrows.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess another reason I really like is just the setup for this team is insane.
That's true.
But it also feels slow too.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. Is it feels really slow. Like outside Zydog and Espeon, like I don't really respect Espeon. Zygode's like Zydog is like okay, and the team just felt kind of underwhelming to me. Like outside with the top 4, it doesn't feel that great. Nothing on the top 4 feels like an oh shit. What do I do about this? It's like fine. The Mons shit. I did not mean to move on to expert. The Mons are fine, but yeah, it's a I don't know, it just felt really underwhelming to me. Also, Fires kind of destroy this team. It's like just which is like a Chi-Yu, which is not great. I don't know. This team just felt really mid to me. I don't know how else to explain it.
That's fair. I
Like,
also
it's
feel like
got
this
what you
team
want.
it does have all the roles that you're looking for, but it feels like everything's kind of stuck in that role. I will say versatility isn't that great on this team, aside from like maybe Terrapagos and maybe Sinistcha, but like it feels like everything does like you kind of know what this team does, and I feel like if you can prep for that, that's fine. And it's also like you run AV on like a decently fast mon, and you're pretty much chilling.
Yeah. Also, Minnie, I have never seen Moana, so I would not be saying its soundtrack. If you pick a movie I've seen, I may actually do it. But I have not seen that movie, so no. But yeah, let's move on to our number 2, which is, as people might have seen it, I accidentally moved over saying, is Frosty. We both had pretty high. So I guess I'll go first. This one. So Frosty, wow, good job. Obviously it's a terrain team. Coco, Boulder, Treads, Blasters, obviously kind of like a terrain core. I think it's really, really well done in general. Like every mon is really good. I like Terra and Mega a lot on here. Even though Boulder kind of needs Terra every time. Okay, wait. Actually, wait. You know what? JD's makes a good point. If people want, we can run karaoke and call after. Like, I can during Jero call. I'm pretty sure we have a bot that lets us do that if people want me to. So we can do it.
Hey.
But anyway, yeah. So anyway, I was saying, I like the hazards. I like Tread's really good setter. I mean, it's just only setter, but who cares? It's Treads. It's good what he does. Good pivots. Very strong offense. Just felt great. No spikes is kind of annoying to me. I did wish that was on there. There are a couple of mons that like look really problem. Like Bundle. Bundle takes advantage of your own terrain and destroys you, which is rough. But like I think this team has a lot of good matchups. I think the offense will just make people unable to stop it. I really like this one.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I agree where I actually really like this team. Like I feel like the synergy of the team is really, really good. Mega Blastoid Terrain Pulse in electric terrain, it's gonna kill all like the other waters that might want to come in and kind of take its hits. Iron Boulder does feel like it does kind of have to terrestrialize each time, but it's okay.
I mean, yeah,
It's
that's
okay.
the one thing. Is like, Mega. The problem is that that's my biggest issue with the team is both Terramons need Terra every time, which means if you bring both, you're in a really awkward position because the other one's kind of useless. So that's the one thing. I kind of wish Mega was something else, probably like another rocker, honestly. But team's really good for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I guess for me, like Another gripe. Let's see. I just feel like maybe it could hit a little more harder physically. I know it has like Zarude and Iron Boulder, but I don't know, just the physical offense doesn't wow me.
I get what you're saying because those aren't
Um,
really breakers. I guess Zaru can break, but like Boulder's more of a cleaner. So I get what you're saying.
yeah. Um, and I guess some of the speed tiers feel a little awkward because like once you go like past Zarude and it kind of drops down.
Yeah, I can see it, but at
Because
this
yeah,
point we're
Megas.
kind of just nitpicking though. Like this is a really good team.
Yeah, but I will say like it does synergize really well. I do love the offense. It's gonna hit hard and it's gonna hit well. Just
And
gotta
it's
be
gonna
careful
do what
with
you
like
do.
I
And
guess.
like Mega Blastoise, Muck, Iron Treads are fine pivots. Like it's obviously hyper offense, but it's a rude like it has monsters you can switch into things, which is helpful.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
Hey, let's go on to our last team, and he has been dreading it because he's been sitting in chat all
I guess
day.
yeah. I guess other than that, it's fine. Muck and Grottle, they're like okay,
Yeah, Muck's
like
fine this gen.
bottom.
Hey. And let's move on to our number one, JT's. And wow, this is a round 6 Mega Scissor. Is a sentence I was not expecting to say this season. I love this team. I think it's God. I love this team. The only issue is I'm unsure on how good the Terra captains are. I haven't seen Manphy perform yet, but it very well could. But like that top 6 plus Latios is absurd. Like oh my god, every game that top 6 Latios can come and like probably drop Rowan more often than not, but you can drop it everything and you'll just win games. You have Neo Queen's like you're only a rocker, but who cares because it's Neo Queen. It's what he does every damn game. You have like very good defoggers for Hearthflame, which supports it well. You have good like disruption, good pivots. Like you have Scissor gives you a mon that actually can sustain itself, so helps a bit for a long game, but you still have a really good offense. I don't know, I just love this team.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it does so much and it does it so well. Like it hits really hard and like it's a scary team to fight. And the fact I don't know, like Latios with Darkrai just feels like a crazy like offensive special core. Um, and that's like not even having to think about Mega Scizor hitting you from like the other side, and even Manaphy setting up. Uh, I'm interested to see how it'll do as a Terramon, because I haven't seen that either. And then you have Ogerpon. Like it just feels like everywhere you look on this team, there is something that either hits really hard or it supports the team really well. I
Or
guess for
does
me,
both in the case of like Scissor or Nidoqueen.
yeah, very true, very true. I guess it just for me, it felt just based off of just stats by itself and like move pool like slightly frail, but I feel like there's a lot you can do to mitigate that
For
with
sure.
this team. So it's not even that much of a gripe.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I feel like
There's just a great team to end off
I didn't really
on, I
like.
think.
What was that?
I just think there's a great team to end off on. Like it's really good.
Yeah, I agree. There's it can do so much and it hits so hard and it's scary to fight. I didn't really write much for cons except for like
There's
that little.
yeah, not much to write about. But yeah, I guess that
Yeah.
pretty much wraps it. Next division we'll be doing on Friday is starting with Tachyon Cutter with Shimrai. But thanks, Risky, for hopping on. I think we're going to hop off streaming now. But thank you, everyone, for joining in chat. This was super fun. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday for the free divisions. Have a good night.